back as the Redskins take the field here in Philadelphia, taking on the Eagles today. This place is rocking and rolling all ready for a good old NFC East battle, the NFL on Fox, and we welcome you to the broadcast booth. Once again, my partner is Charles Davis, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. So, Charles, the last time we saw the Eagles, they were in a dogfight, lost to the Saints in the playoff game with Nick Foles as their quarterback. But now this is all the Carson Wentz show. He's healthy and ready to go.
And it's another reboot for Carson Wentz, and he spent the offseason reshaping his body, clearing his mind, and working on his leadership skills with his team. The only thing he's lacking now is a Super Bowl ring where he's the starting quarterback. That's what he's after this season.
Redskins drafted a quarterback, but we won't see Haskins for a while. They go with the veteran today in Case Keenum.
Yeah, this is a guy who I call the adapter, because everywhere he goes, KB, he adapts to that situation and becomes the starter, and he'll lead the team today. But on defense, that's where this team will be led by Landon Collins, their offseason acquisition. He's a safety who'll line up in all three levels and make big plays.
It is the 100th season of the National Football League. With more on that, we now will send it to Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
We are just a few moments away from the NFL kicking off the first Sunday of its 100th season. But before we do, here are a few words from some familiar faces.
Welcome to the 100th season of the National Football League. That's right, 100 seasons of the greatest game in the world. Aren't we lucky?
Namath. I always pick Namath for this stuff. It's like the Cowboys don't even exist.
Yeah, I guess Captain America isn't good enough for the 100th season.
And I got news for you. This Jets team is going to surprise some people. I guarantee it.
This is pro football, the sport of our time.
Babe, we've come a long way since playing on a dirt field.
Singing Sammy Baugh, Rocco Nagurski, Jim Brown, the greatest running back of all time.
And the game is better than ever. Trust me. Baker and the boys are going to be special.
Yeah, that's cool and all, but there ain't nothing more special than playing right here in Philadelphia. Right, Doug?
Throughout the 100th season, we'll celebrate the history of the NFL.
Warner, gonna throw deep. Wide open Tyree. Makes the catch. I don't believe it. What a miracle diving for it. I got it. Santonio with a touchdown. Football immortality.
And we'll look to the future. Tell them, Marcus.
Just win in Vegas, baby.
You are looking live.
Hi, everybody. This is Kurt Gowdy.
Good afternoon. I'm Pat Simone with John Madden.
Hello, friends. A game is ready to break out. Now it's time to play football.
This should have started 5 minutes ago. This 100th season is clearly not on Coughlin time.
Relax, Coach. Let's have a little fun.
I'm with Coach. Let's get this party started.
100 seasons, the beat goes on.
And it all ends here in Miami at Super Bowl 54.
Here's to a perfect 100th season.
The 100th year of the NFL, and these two teams go back a long way. 1934, their first meeting. Today, the 168th meeting between the Eagles and the Redskins. A lot of history here, a lot of great players, some of them on hand. As a matter of fact, today, well, those two quarterbacks certainly had their battles over the years. Joe Theismann on the left, Ron Jaworski, Jaws on the right, and here's who it'll be today. Carson Wentz of the Eagles and Case Keenum of the Redskins as a flyover here in Philadelphia. Couldn't ask for a better day. It is 79 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, just perfect for week one of the NFL here in Philly. And Charles, we got here pretty early, and people were here before us. I mean, they are ready to go for week one of the NFL. Well, Jay Gruden, in his 6th season as head coach of the Redskins, they were just besieged with injuries last year. He's hoping for some health. That would help. First coach of the Redskins, Lud Ray. First coach of the Eagles, Lud Ray. Even another connection. Current coach of the Eagles, though, is Doug Peterson, who has obviously done a fantastic job, including the Super Bowl win 2 years ago.
Lud Ray got around, didn't he?
He did.
He also coached in college at Penn. Head coach there, so Lud Ray on both levels.
There's Darius Geis, who will carry the load today. The back out of LSU, who they drafted in the 2nd round last year, missed all of last year with an ACL injury. And as we showed you, Adrian Peterson is inactive. So that is a storyline to watch, but it's all eyes on Carson Wentz. Deshaun Jackson back in Philadelphia. By the way, he got the loudest roar as he came out of the tunnel.
So happy to have their deep threat back, and also if they decide to put it back in punt returns at some point. Hasn't done much of that later in his career, but still always a threat.
And so the Eagles won the toss and deferred. Jake Elliott will kick it off. Steven Sims Jr. is back deep to receive. It's week 1 of the NFL, year 26 on Fox. So glad to have you with us. Can't wait to get going. Teams are ready. Elliott is ready. And here we go. Eagles, Redskins from Philadelphia. Short kick. Sims up to receive at the 8. There's a wall in front of him, and he's going to get back to the 20, and that is about it. And that's where we will see the Redskins offense for the first time. And Case Keenum, his 4th team in the last 4 years, but he is a steady veteran, coming off an up-and-down year last year, but threw for a career-best 3,890 yards in Denver. You look at Keenum in his journey. He was with Houston first, 2-8 in his time there for a few years, and then he was with the Rams, and they drafted Goff, so he kind of held the seat warm for Goff. He took Minnesota to the championship game a couple years ago. He was brilliant as their quarterback. Went to Denver, a tougher year, and now he's with Washington, holding the seat warm until the guy they drafted, Dwayne Haskins, will take over at some point. And a first down. They will run it to Geis. And Darius Geis has 5 yards on first down. So this is an interesting story. We know they want to get Geis involved, Charles, but the fact that Peterson, who had 1,000 yards last year, is inactive, pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a surprise because you can understand getting the young kid ready to go and give him the bulk of the carries. But a guy who got you 1,000 yards last year with that physicality and had a big game against Philadelphia here in Philly. You remember the 90-yard touchdown run he broke. It is a surprise that he's not serving as the backup for the youngster out of LSU.
They will run it again. The fake, I should say, coming near side, and they've got a completion to the tight end. It's Jeremy Sprinkle who's got a first down. Oh, you talked about the Washington defense in the open, Charles. This Eagles defense, they do one thing really well, and that is get to the quarterback. And
they're so happy to have Fletcher Cox back, getting his first action of the season. He didn't play at all in preseason. He's barely out there on the practice field, but coming off of off-season foot surgery, they're all pro defensive tackles. So it's the tone for that defensive front.
And they will run it again. Not much there. As a 3-yard gain for Quinn. So here is, Geis. Darius Geis, who they drafted in the 2nd round last year and tore up his knee in the preseason, an ACL, and not only that, Charles, had to have 3 additional procedures. What are we expecting from him?
What you're expecting is what they saw out of LSU. They think he's fully healthy. He'll have to prove that to himself. He did run some in preseason. That helps out, but nothing like live action in the regular season to find out if you are 100%. They can run between the tackles, and he can also get to the perimeter and break off big runs as well.
Keenum has time. Back to pass. Here's Geis. Makes a nice cut. He's got a first down for Washington. Oh, we were talking about Geis. Here is his situation. 3 years at LSU and obviously had a good career. Look at the rush yards per carry, 6.53. Second in SEC history behind a guy by the name of Bo Jackson.
If you're ever second to Bo Jackson in anything, you're doing pretty well.
So another first down for the Redskins. And they will run it again, and not much there.
So if we go back to last year, KB, and you watch this Washington team play, they ran the ball approximately 60% of the time on 1st and 10. So that's a tendency, and that's what we're seeing early in the game today. They like their offensive line. They'll like it better when they get Trent Williams back at left tackle. But it's an offensive line built to run the football. Big, strong, physical guys across the front. That's what they want to do, but expect them to mix in a little more play action and take some shots downfield with this young wide receiver core as this game moves on.
3 rushes so far. Here they'll throw. Eagles come with pressure, and they got a completion on the near side. It's Paul Richardson who comes over and make the catch. He one of the many Redskins who had injury issues all last year. Signed a big deal from Seattle, and then had shoulder surgery, only played 7 games.
But he's the old man in their receivers room.
Really is.
I mean, Paul Richardson in his 6th year, his second year in Washington, he looks around the receivers room. He sees rookie Terry McLaurin out of Ohio State. Sees rookie Kelvin Harmon out of NC State. Trey Quinn, a second-year guy out of SMU. It's going to be interesting for Richardson, now the elder statesman.
3rd and 2. Keenum rolling, pressure, throws. He's got a completion and a first down. It's Vernon Davis, the Ageless one, who stays on his feet somehow. And he's going to brace to the end zone and get there. Touchdown, Washington. 48 yards of Vernon Davis, who looked like he was stopped, and somehow he kept going, Charles.
Watch him get out into the flat, but watch Keenum just use his legs, extends the play, keeps it alive, and they lose track of Davis in the flat. Big hurdle, runs through an attempted tackle, and now the foot race is on. Vernon, look at this. Right over the top, there's Sendejo, who's a big hitter, but unable to hold on to Vernon Davis. And now in the sprint, Vernon Davis may be 137 years old, but he still runs a 4.4.
He does.
And look at him finish this one off for the first touchdown of the year for Washington.
Well, with Jordan Reed out with a concussion, Vernon Davis getting the start today, and what a start for Washington. 7 plays, 80 yards on the opening drive of the season. How about this?
That's Vernon they're going to get. Hope he's okay.
Well, he certainly looked fine racing to the end zone, but not sure what happened there at the end.
Definitely in a little bit of pain, but what a move by Vernon Davis, and then the strength to shake off tacklers and continue to trek his way to the end zone. And see, early in the game, that's what Jim Schwartz, the defense coordinator of Philadelphia, fears from Case Keenum, his ability to move around in and out of the pocket, keep a play alive, and shake a receiver free downfield. And Vernon Davis took full advantage.
48 yards from Keenum to Davis. And the Redskins out to an early lead. Now Hopkins for the extra point. It's up and good. So Davis appears to be okay. Hey, he's getting the reps today. Charles, you said it. It might be 137, but he still runs like the wind. Well, the ageless Vernon Davis are having fun with his age because he's incredible. At 35 years old, still runs, as you saw him, extremely fast and still getting it done. As a matter of fact, his 63rd career touchdown, which now passes Shannon Sharpe for 6th all-time among his position. Just awesome. And what a start for the Redskins, who, by the way, you saw Adrian Peterson, the first guy over to hug Davis. And Clement will make the fair catch, and now it'll be Philadelphia's turn on offense. And here is Carson Wentz, and what a big year this is for him.
In so many ways, as we detailed in the open, he spent a lot of time in the offseason changing his body, got leaner, changed his diet, but he also had to clear his mind. The last 2 years have been very difficult on him because at one point he's going to be the league MVP, and then another guy leads his team to a Super Bowl win. The second year, another guy named Nick Foles leads his team deeper into the playoffs. It's now his team. Can he stay healthy for 16? And can he get back and get his own Super Bowl ring?
Well, they start out with 5 wide receivers on the first play. Darren Sproles is in the left slot. Play clock down to 2. Wentz looks left, not there. Comes back right, fires, slings it incomplete. Intended for Zach Ertz, but just good coverage everywhere. And Kerrigan getting a little pressure on there as well. You know, when you look at the Eagles offense, Charles, they moved the ball plenty last year, and that stat was pretty similar to the year before. What they didn't do, though, is in the key areas.
Yeah, they didn't ring the bell very well, did they? Red zone was down. They averaged about 9 points less per game in the starts of Carson Wentz than the year before. But they feel like they've upgraded their firepower, including Deshaun Jackson on the outside. Alshon Jeffrey completely healthy going into a season. They think they'll get back to their former ways, putting the ball in the end zone.
Here is the fake. Pressure. Wentz sees it, comes near side. He's got a completion and a first down to Deshaun Jackson. Back in Philadelphia, he's been vocal, happy about it, and the fans let him know it here today. And a pickup of 11 for a first down.
And Doug Peterson, the head coach who also calls plays for Philadelphia, guarantee you that he made a point of getting the ball in number 10's hands early. Because you want him involved in the game right from the start. You want him active. His first game back in Philadelphia, he's ready to show out, give him an opportunity, and Wentz did on that throw.
Kill! D-5-3!
They're going to run. It's Miles Sanders with his first professional carry, and a short gain by Sanders. You talked about when we came on the air about this Redskins defense, that is the signature of this team. They were good for half the year last year. Do you expect more now this year?
I expect even more because this young group is going to continue to grow. And last year, the offense, when they struggled down the stretch, put a lot of pressure on them. How about that defensive front? Talk about Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Matt Ioannidis. The linebackers, they have to come along, but Kerrigan's still there to provide pressure off the edge. And then back deep, I mentioned Landon Collins, but they get Quentin Dunbar back from injury on the other corner to go with Josh Norman.
On second down, it's Darren Sproles who's got a nice hole, and Sproles working his way out to the 44 is going to be 2 yards shy of a first down. We've got a fight here on the far side. Flags flying everywhere. Jackson was in the middle of it with Quentin Dunbar. Of course, Jackson, not only a former Eagle, but a former Redskin as well.
Not only that, the first catch of the game was on Quentin Dunbar, and he signaled the big first down, and Dunbar, of course, didn't like it as a DB, so he targeted him going back on the next play and said, okay, you caught one. How you going to handle a little physicality? And you know Deshaun Jackson doesn't back down from a good conversation ever.
And so the couple flags flew immediately. Ronald Torbert is our referee this afternoon from Philadelphia.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 10. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. The down counts. It's third down.
So you remember the first catch of the game for Deshaun Jackson. That was on Quentin Dunbar, and he let him know about it. Quentin Dunbar excited to be back in the lineup after a nerve issue in his leg last year limited him to 9 games. He doesn't want to back down. So the first chance he got to look up Deshaun Jackson after that catch, he did. And that was almost a case of the second guy getting caught. Quentin Dunbar went over and let him know a few things, and then when Jackson responded, guess who the official saw?
What it does is the Eagles lose 15 yards and a third down and 17. They have to get out to the 46. Four-man rush. Wentz stands in, slings it, incomplete. A little high. He was trying to get Aguilar down the seam, couldn't connect, and now a punt situation for the Eagles. First game break of the day. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. Last time I saw you guys was in Minnesota for the Vikings preseason game. Well, guess what? This is how they want their regular season to start, with a touchdown to Adam Thielen. They're up early in this one, 7-0. Kevin, Charles, and Cam.
Carissa, Adam Thielen from Minnesota State continues to show he's one of the best receivers in the NFL.
This is Trey Quinn back to receive inside the 20. Makes a good move, gets a block out across the 30. Nice return, and then a late shove and a penalty right around the 30. There comes another penalty from the backside, so a couple flags flying.
Looked like number 50, Tanner Vallejo, is going to get either a block in the back or an illegal block coming back towards the line of scrimmages. Not the line of scrimmage, but back towards the spot where they fielded the ball.
It was a 16-yard return after the punt by Cameron Johnston.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 50 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Washington's ball, first down. Timeout.
So the Redskins score on their opening drive. The defense does their job. It's 7-0 Washington. Back in Philadelphia, where the Redskins lead the Eagles 7-0. Vernon Davis, a 48-yard touchdown reception coming from Case Keenum, who's off to, as you can see, a perfect start. First drive as a Redskin. Davis getting a little breather. Keenum 4 for 4 to start for 71 yards and a touchdown. They will fake it here. He's got some time, and he fires. He's got a man wide open out across the 40-yard line. It's Kelvin Harmon, who is a big target, the rookie from North Carolina State.
Over 1,000 yards his last year, number 13. Look at him get upfield his last year at North Carolina State. And you nailed it, Kevin. A big target, big physical receiver. carries himself like he's a first-round draft choice. He's wondering what took him so long to come get him. And you know what else helped? What else he does well? He blocks on the perimeter. And for a team that likes to run the football, wide receivers that block, that helps them immeasurably.
As Paul Richardson going in motion, he comes to the bottom of your screen. Here's Geis on the sweep right, not much there. So you talk about Keenum, and we mentioned how he's been around the block, right? He was great in Minnesota, took him to the championship game where he lost here in Philadelphia. Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, was highly complimentary, and he brought up a point that honestly I wasn't even thinking of.
He said, look at the last 4 teams he's gone to. He won the starting job in each one of them, and that wasn't necessarily supposed to be the case, which means he won over 4 different head coaches, 4 different coaching staffs, and 4 different locker rooms in order to be the starter. That says something big about that young man.
Earning that trust. Chris Thompson in the game for the first time at running back for Washington. On a 2nd and 9. They give it to Thompson, sidesteps, and then gets whacked after a gain of about 2. Vinny Curry, another one of the ex-Eagles who's now a current Eagle. Spent 1 year in Tampa, didn't work out, got released, and signed back here to Philadelphia.
Could not wait to get back here, and we saw him at practice the other day, and he couldn't wait to chat us up about the fact that Fox is going to be carrying the WWE in October. Vinny's a huge wrestling fan, and the first thing he said is like, yo, get me on. So, Vinny, with plays like that, you've got a shot.
Third down and 8. Keenum steps up, has time, throws, and he's got another completion for a first down. It's Richardson down at the Philadelphia 40, and another conversion on 3rd down for Washington.
3rd and 8, and this Eagles defensive front well documented how they rush the passer, but watch the offensive line of Washington. Look what they form. A nice protective cup that allows Keenum to step up into it, climb the pocket, so to speak, and find his target, and Richardson comes down with it for a key first down for Washington.
So the Redskins already with 120 total yards of offense here in the first quarter. Thompson has it. Looking for a seam, and the flag flies. Couple now back at the line of scrimmage as Thompson has about 6 yards, but that may be coming back.
Holding. Offense. Number 76. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, that's on Morgan Moses, the right tackle, who's been here for a while. And the one thing about this Washington team today, which is really weird seeing them play without him, no Trent Williams on the left side.
They're all Pro Bowl left tackle. Began skipping practice in the offseason. And you can see by the headlines, and these are all headlines out of the Washington newspapers. Relationship fractured, there's no going back. That's August 2nd. Still refusing to budge are the organization. August 14th. And guess what? No one budging. Trent Williams isn't here, although there may be a possibility we could see him next week.
We just saw Donald Penn. He's the one who signed, and that was almost intercepted. Jumped in front of the route. Darby was the man who jumped it, but just couldn't corral it.
So look at Darby's eyes. He was looking right back into the quarterback. That's called the cluing technique for a cornerback. When you can see the receiver in front of you, understand where the break point is. But if you're watching the quarterback, as soon as his back foot hits, you're ready to break on the football, and Darby did exactly that.
On 2nd down, Keenum got a good pocket so far, and he comes near side. He's got another completion. Terry McLaurin out of Ohio State, 3rd-round draft pick, makes a catch. It's unbelievable. You talked about, Richardson being the veteran. 3 rookies for these wide receivers for Washington.
3 rookies showing their wares early, but even more importantly, that offensive line without Trent Williams is protecting Case Keenum quite well here in the early going.
Meanwhile, Keenum has 7 completions to 6 different receivers.
There's McLaurin, the speed guy. He's in the slot. The rookie out of Ohio State.
3rd and 7. Blitz coming. It's picked up. Keenan rifles, fires, and it's caught by Quinn, who makes a great cut and has another Washington first down. Case Keenum is on the money again. That time it's Trey Quinn who makes the catch, and a first down for Washington, 14 yards.
Look at the protection again from the offensive line of Washington. With a number of teams that you play, Kevin, 3rd and 7, you would expect extra pressure. You expect a blitz. With the Philadelphia, they like to use their defensive front. Right now, they're not able to get near the quarterback. And on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, Case Keenum surveys the field, finds an open target, and delivers.
147 yards of offense for Washington. On the move again. Timeout on the field. Look at this. The Redskins offense against Philadelphia. The Eagles have won the last 4 games, and on 3rd down they haven't done a thing. Today they're already 3 for 3. By the way, the timeout on the field, way out of the field, Avonte Maddox was hurt on the last play. He was down for a while, but he did walk off under his own power. As here's the play.
Maddox, number 29 in green, tackling Trey Quinn, goes over the sideline. And as you noted, was able to get up and walk off under his own power. But right now, Jay Gruden doing a nice job mixing up plays, and the offensive line protecting the quarterback.
Here's Geis, gets a block, makes a spin, and works his way down to the 20, gain of about 3.
And one other thing we've observed with Case Keenum, he's getting all the receivers involved. Everyone's getting a taste early. How many different receivers so far?
7.
So he's moving it around. Everyone's involved. The young kids, these rookies playing their first game, you know their hearts are beating out of their chest and their shoulder pads. Well, he got them involved and settled into this game early, too. Nicely done by Keenum. Nice play calling by Jay Gruden.
Second down on the fake. Pressure coming. It's blocked. Keenum going for the end zone. It is. Is it a touchdown? No, incomplete. Darby was on the coverage for Richardson, and it was close. And he ran out of real estate. And it'll be a 3rd down.
Tried to go over the top, but look at the coverage by Darby. Sees him on the out and up move. Now he gets his head back to the quarterback. And as he catches it, he does not come down inbounds.
Boy, that was a heck of a catch.
Great effort because Darby had the inside position. The idea that Richardson even got to the football is pretty impressive.
I think he steps out there. So that's why.
Steps out. So he's now, and the referee took off his hat and threw it down to show that now he was an ineligible receiver to touch the ball first.
Play clock down to 1. They get it off. They'll come back with a screen to Davis, and he's eaten alive. Brandon Graham played it great. And that drive will stop with a field goal opportunity for Washington.
Didn't Brandon Graham tell us he always wanted to be a middle linebacker? That's why he went to Michigan. That's why he wears 55. He may be a defensive end, but he played that one out as a middle linebacker would. Sensed the play coming in his direction, aborted his pass rush, stayed out there where the receiver would be, and forced him into a field goal try.
So now it's Dustin Hopkins, who had a fine year last year. 41-yard attempt for him to make it a 10-point lead. And Hopkins is up, and Hopkins sneaks it home. And with 2:48 to go in the first quarter, how about the Redskins? What a start. 10-0 up on the Eagles in Philadelphia. Well, the Redskins have racked up 147 yards of offense here in the first quarter. They lead it 10-0 in Philadelphia. Eagles had one drive, big penalty on Deshaun Jackson, and punted it away. But it has been quite the start for underdog Washington as Hopkins will kick it off. Clement will watch it sail out of the end zone. Let's go down and say hello to Pam Oliver in her 25th year. Pam, you're the best.
Oh, you say that, but I know I don't look any older than 36. Hey, let me tell you something. Doug Peterson, he is not about to alter what he will demand of Carson Wentz and the Eagles offense, despite the injuries. He wants an attacking, aggressive style. He said he will not handcuff his quarterback. In fact, he wants to go the opposite, cut him loose from this day forward. Wentz, of course, he wants to play 16 games. He said he won't needlessly extend plays with his legs, but he's got all those playmakers who can help.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, you know, if he does kind of lose on how he responds. A little flip to Sproles, who came out of the slot. And Sproles had to work hard for about 4 yards on the play. And, you know, look, we talked about it. You know, Foles is now in Jacksonville, right? They responded immediately by giving Carson Wentz the big deal. But, you know, there's a lot. He did a lot to his credit to try and make sure he was in the best position coming into this season, right?
He certainly did. I mean, Pam just talked about where Doug Peterson has said he's not going to limit him. Well, Carson didn't want to limit himself, right? I think Pam told us his goal, play 16. What do I have to do to play 16? Change my diet, change my body, different routine and regimen. He's going to do everything possible so Doug Peterson can cut him loose.
And he fires one to Zach Ertz here, and judging by the mark, it'll be right around a first down. We will see. So Carson Wentz, you look at where he is in his 4th year. Look, injury is a big part of it. His rookie year, he did have a rib injury that he dealt with. 7-9, nice rookie year. 2017, he was the MVP of the league, I think, when he got hurt, unfortunately, right? We know what happened. The Eagles won the Super Bowl without him. Last year, he had some good moments. The team did not necessarily, and then he had a fractured back that he played with for a while. And then finally, they said, okay, enough. You can't play with this anymore, and then had to watch again. And you know how hard that must have been for him to sit there and watch for his 2nd year in a row. As Corey Clement is in with Darren Sproles now on a 3rd and 1, and they're just going to push the pile forward, and a first down for Philadelphia. Game break now. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, you mentioned Nick Foles being in Jacksonville. This is his first touchdown pass for the Jaguars. A beauty. 35 yards to DJ Shark. Unfortunately, he injured his shoulder on that play, taken to the locker room, and he has been ruled out for the rest of the game. It's still 17-10 right now.
Wow.
Kurt, you're not going to believe this. We just rolled the injuries that Carson Wentz has endured here in Philadelphia. And Nick Foles on the touchdown pass, he gets injured. He's out the rest of the game. The thing that Eagles fans have seen from Wentz the last 2 seasons, we just saw in Jacksonville with Foles.
Well, here's what you got, right? What these two guys have done. Obviously, Foles, a Super Bowl MVP. And hard to forget, you got a statue outside of the stadium with him and Doug Peterson. With the
Philly special.
But, you know, you look at the numbers. Look, Wentz's numbers are great. And who knows? They might have won the Super Bowl if he didn't get hurt in 2017. And he was playing at such a high level when he got hurt against the Rams. But, you know, it doesn't matter how good of a friend you are with someone. It doesn't matter. When you are the quarterback of the team and you see someone else lead them twice to the playoff, I don't care who you are. That is mentally taxing.
It's beyond mentally taxing because you're trying to, and we saw Jonathan Allen, that's a big injury for Washington. Their defensive lineman on the bench. As you said, no matter how big a friend you are, what a big play there inside. Look like number 55, Cole Holcomb, the rookie out of North Carolina. It's hard to shake, Kevin. You want to be happy for your friend. You're happy for your team. At the same time, that jealousy bug is just raging inside of you because you know it should be you.
Yeah.
And you're just fighting emotion after emotion. And right now, Philadelphia is fighting this strong defense of Washington, which is starting to dictate play.
See if they get one more playoff for the first quarter ends. On a 2nd down and 12. And we get some movement. Anderson jumped. Was he baited? Lane Johnson says absolutely not. It's him.
Yeah, he jumped too to make sure the officials saw it.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 52. 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
Again, that's on Ryan Anderson, who definitely played for this team last year. But Preston Smith, remember they lost him, signed with the Packers, so he's now the primary opposite of Ryan Kerrigan. As with that, looks like we will end quarter number 1 from Philadelphia. And what a quarter it was for the Redskins. Excitement for Deshaun Jackson's return, but it was all Washington on offense. Vernon Davis with a big touchdown, and it's 10-0 Redskins after 1. 10-0 Washington here in Philadelphia as we start the 2nd quarter. And the first quarter, it was an issue for the Birds last year. Carson Wentz, you see in 2017, first quarters lit it up. So did the team. Last year, they struggled in the first quarter. A lot of slow starts. Wentz, part of that. And then today, again, not all his fault, obviously, but 2 of 4, 16 yards. Time of possession, look at that.
This is exactly how Washington wants to play. And last year, when they dominated time of possession, it was in the win column for Washington more often than not. But one thing we haven't acknowledged so far, Carson Wentz, 0 snaps in the preseason.
Yep.
Now, you make of it what you want to. Maybe it's going to take a little bit of time for the timing of he and the receivers and the offensive line to come together. Case Keenum, he did get some snaps in the preseason.
Here's Wentz, give to Sproles, looking for room, and he slithers his way out to the 43. Injury note, Pam Oliver tells us that Jonathan Allen has a knee injury and is questionable return. That's a big deal. He had 8 sacks last year. He is a monster inside. So Tim Settle, 97, is the guy that's in there. They will rotate a little bit too.
And that changes things about who. There goes Jonathan Allen now. That changes Deron Payne's role, who's normally inside. He'd have to go to be one of the edge guys, bringing Settle in to play over the nose.
On third down, blitz is coming. It's picked up. Wentz fires complete. Jackson's got it. First down, Philadelphia in Washington territory. He and Dunbar, a nice little battle today so far. And a gain of 9.
How about the rookie Miles Sanders? Watch what he does here. He slides over and picks up the blitzing linebacker Cole Holcomb, the rookie out of North Carolina. That allows Wentz the opportunity to get the ball out in the flat to Deshaun Jackson and pick up a first down. Any rookie running back, your first thought is not whether or not they can run the football. That's easy.
Yep.
Will they be available for you and handle pass protection and keep your quarterback upright? Deuce Staley, the running backs coach, fully on board with Sanders. Doug Peterson said, I agree. Sanders gets the start today and shows why.
On first down, Wentz, pump fakes. Now we'll get it out in the flat. Low throw caught by Jordan Howard, the former Chicago Bear. Has played sparingly so far, but Howard, not known for his pass-catching ability, delivers there on a low throw.
He went through a thing his rookie year in Chicago where they were worried about his hands and got his eyes tested. And I don't remember if he needed contacts or something, and they thought that they got that corrected, and he improved. You see Carson Wentz saying to himself, my bad, because of the low throw. Because if he hits Jordan on the run, you get a few more yards out of that play.
Second down. Howard gets it again, this time on the carry, and he bowls his way forward for a first down. That is what he's known for, and that's what he was. People talk about, well, his yards per carry, they've gone down, but he runs hard in tight spaces.
So in a lot of ways, and watch the offensive line get some movement up front. Good push there by Brandon Brooks, number 79, back from the ruptured Achilles in the playoffs against New Orleans last year. And then number 24 puts his pads down and creates some more space.
Here's Howard again, trying to build off the momentum, and it works. And again, he pushes that pile down to the 31.
So, partner, do you feel like we're seeing the first time the Philadelphia offense get into a rhythm this afternoon?
Oh, no doubt.
This is this drive now, and look what they're doing. They're staying on the line of scrimmage. A little bit of a warm day. Going to try and wear down this defensive front of Washington by running more plays.
A risky play. Jackson caught the ball, but he's tackled immediately by Norman. That had all kinds of danger on it. Could have been a lateral, could have been a lot of things, but ends up being a short gain as Norman in on the tackle.
And they stay in attack mode, not really huddling. Stand up on the line of scrimmage.
Redskins show blitz. Wentz surveys, going to go in the flat to Sproles. There's a long way to go, and he is not going to get there. He's denied at the 30, so they come up short. But they will be in field goal position unless Doug Peterson decides to go, which he does do a lot. They were 14 of 23 on fourth down last year, and the offense is staying on the field.
And here comes Dallas Goedert, the second tight end, coming into the game as well. They'll show a heavy set here, but I don't expect them to run the ball, Kevin. This is about a good 2 yards. They'll show the two tight end formation, but I expect them to throw out of this.
They got Sproles in the game. Zach Ertz, the tight end, lines up all at the top. Now they send over someone to cover him in Moreland. 4th and 2. Wentz has time, and it's knocked down incomplete, and the Redskins hold. Deron Payne got his hands up there and knocked it away, and a big drive comes away with 0 points. Payne has some ups. Redskins defense doing their job. Well, the Eagles put together a 12-play drive. It took nearly 7 minutes, but on fourth down, they go for it. Ball is knocked away by Deron Payne, and the Eagles come up with nothing. So it's 10-0 Washington here early in this second quarter, and they start off at their own 29-yard line with Darius Geis in the backfield. And they will run it to Geis, who has nowhere to go. So we know that Doug Peterson is aggressive. He goes for it 1,000,000 times on 4th down. Anything shock you about the decision there?
Absolutely nothing, and it didn't shock me at all. They threw the ball because it was 4th and a full 2 yards. But the key play on that drive for Washington's defense was the 3rd down play.
Yeah.
3rd and 7. They don't get home at all with any pressure. The Philadelphia offensive line keeps Wentz clean, but no one was open in the secondary, so they had to check it down. They make the tackle in open field, force the 4th down. Payne knocks the ball away. Washington's defense is having a nice afternoon here in the early going.
Meanwhile, the Redskins have reeled off 149 yards. Keenum's off to a great start, although looks like he may have to take a timeout here. And he will do that with 2 seconds on the play clock. We'll take one as well. Second quarter, 10-0. Washington in front. Great shot of Philadelphia, the Ben Franklin Bridge, 10-0 Washington. Learned something today, Charles. You know, we're both East Coast guys.
Yeah.
We went over the Walt Whitman Bridge today. You're not supposed to unless you're coming from New Jersey.
Yeah, we were going to New Jersey. That was wrong, right? Because we went past the stadium.
We got a ride here, and we learned that you can't pay with Venmo on the bridge.
No, you cannot.
Keenum's going to go deep, and he's got a man, McLaurin, who makes the catch in open field, and he's gone. A bomb to the rookie, Terry McLaurin, all the way for 70. Holy cow, what a start for Washington.
And now you know why the Washington organization calls Terry McLaurin Scary Terry. Because of his speed. Ran a 4.35 at the combine this year. Showed the wheels on that play. But how was that all set up, Kevin? The running game of Washington, being able to run it hard on 1st down for most of this game. Now you go heavy play action and take your shot in case Keenum does exactly that. Jay Gruden and his play calling pays off here with Case Keenum getting a wide open look downfield for Terry McLaurin.
And the Boo Birds are out in Philadelphia. It took a quarter and a few minutes for that to happen.
Rasul Douglas lost a little weight in the offseason trying to get quicker. Not going to be quick enough for Terry McLaurin on a go route like that. Able to get inside and just turn on the afterburners and finish things off. Rookie out of Ohio State, 3rd round pick. Last year, you know how many balls he caught Ohio State? 35. Okay, 35. So normally when you hear about a receiver, you're thinking 60, 70 in college, right? #1 guy. 35 because they spread the ball around like crazy with Dwayne Haskins there. But everyone knew he could run. Now, you know, to get to Ohio State, and there's Case Keenum excited, Terry McLaurin didn't get an initial offer from Urban Meyer, our colleague on Fox College Football, because he didn't catch it well enough. Told him to go home, work on your hands, come back to a camp, and we'll see. A month later, after going home and catching 200 passes a day, many of them from his mom, he comes back, shows off the renewed hands, gets a scholarship offer from Ohio State. That's a kid who heard what the man said, had a goal, and went out and achieved it.
Redskins carrying 3 rookie wideouts. 1 wideout in Trey Quinn in his 2nd year, who only played 3 games last year. And Paul Richardson, the former Seahawk, is the lone veteran guy. That's it. And Jay Gruden was so confident yesterday and almost over the top. Kind of feel like, okay, maybe it's just coach speak.
Right.
I guess it's not.
Yeah, he said you can tell that we have a lot of faith in these guys by the fact that we're pushing them out there early. Because they cut some veteran guys that they could have kept around, and that would have been by the book. But Jay Gruden said, forget that. The better players are going to stay, and we're going to force feed them early. And that formula is working for Washington here.
Well, quite a stunning start, but a long way to go here. Just under 10 minutes to go in this 2nd quarter. 17-0. Here's Wentz. They're going to get some of it back to Sanders, who makes the catch and then slips. And he's going to pick up maybe 2. That's what we got at quarterback so far. Keenum, how's his debut going for the Redskins? Pretty good?
And if you look at their stats about throwing the ball downfield, Keenum's about a 34% thrower with the balls in the air over 20 yards. He was 100% on the throw to McLaurin.
4-man rush. Wentz fires quickly over the middle. He's going to be about a yard shy of a first down. It's Aguilar who makes the catch. And the Redskins today averaging 16.8 yards per pass. Of course, they've had 2 long touchdowns, a 48-yarder to Vernon Davis and then the 70-yarder to McLaurin. Eagles had a nice drive going there. Remember, they had a 12-play drive. They found some continuity, but then were stopped on a 4th down. They were in field goal range. And now we get a timeout on the field, Philadelphia. And it is raining boos already. And we'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Yes, I know who it is. Can you hear?
16 celebrities go undercover.
Actors, authors, radio and talk show hosts, international recording artists.
In America's favorite guessing game.
Rachel Ray.
Steph Curry. Marshmallow.
I guessed it. You're welcome. End the show. Drop the mic.
The Masked Singer Season 2 premieres Wednesday, September 25th.
Oh my God, I have no idea what just happened.
On Fox.
8:43 to go in this first half from Philly. 17-0 Redskins. And this place was rocking at the very beginning, and they haven't had much to cheer about at all to this point on a beautiful day, week 1 of the NFL.
Now, earlier in this situation, they went quarterback sneak with Wentz. Do they do that again on 3rd and short here?
They will pitch it to Sproles way behind the line of scrimmage, and that is going to come up short. Boy, they pitched it to him 7 yards back of the first down. That's a tough ask, and he was denied. Sean Dion Hamilton, the linebacker, was there.
And I think the corner, let's watch out here where the corners are. Moreland 32, Josh Norman 24. Look how they come up and force it. And that allows Sean Dion Hamilton, number 51, to knife through and make the play. See, you see Norman? He goes low and essentially takes out the legs of Lane Johnson. You can't block a guy diving on the ground, but you stop your feet. You're not blocking anyone. And that threw off the driving of the play.
Their catch called for by Trey Quinn. And the Redskins will take over. It is all Washington. 17-0. Quieting the crowd in Philly, second quarter. 17-0 Washington with the surprising start here in Philadelphia. They've been electric on offense, and the defense has certainly done their part. Case Keenum in his Redskins debut, 10 of 12, 202 yards and 2 touchdowns to start it off.
And you hear the crowd getting involved now, and this is now on the Philly defense because they've got field position on their side if they can hold Washington on downs here.
They will run it. Dice. Bounces around, flag flies behind the line of scrimmage too. Charles, you mentioned this earlier in the game, talking about Vinny Curry. It is the dawn of a new era. WWE Friday Night SmackDown coming to Fox. The action unleashed every Friday night beginning October 4th, only on Fox. Can't wait.
Holding. Offense, number 18. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Repeat, first down.
They get the hold on Trey Quinn, the slot receiver for the Redskins. Another one of these young guys, second year, but the
right there. Look at Malcolm Jenkins, who is listed as a safety but plays everything from safety to dime linebacker in various configurations of Philadelphia's defense.
They say they like Quinn enough to let Jamison Crowder walk in the offseason. So Quinn's the new slot guy, backed up now. Here's guys looking for room to run, not much. Across the 10. Let's get a game break. Check in once again with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. So defending NFC champs, the Rams up 3-0 in Carolina when Jared Goff hands it off to Malcolm Brown for that 5-yard score. Rams up in this one 10-0. Kevin, Charles, and Ken.
And so the defending NFC champs starting off on a good foot. Malcolm Brown, not Gurley. Haven't seen Gurley's reps today, but something to watch.
But think about last year when the Rams played no one in the preseason that were their starters and still came out of the gate so strong and went to the went to the Super Bowl. Other teams copying that, but maybe not achieving the same continuity at the start of the season as the Rams did last year, and looks like at the start of this one as well.
Get it to Geis on the outside, who makes a nice move, and then it's Maddox who was into the game and then left with cramps. We showed you earlier, back in, and he ends up making the tackle. Charles, I'll tell you one thing. The Washington offensive line, we documented Trent Williams and the holdout not there. They brought in Donald Penn. Eagles haven't really gotten too much pressure on Case Keenum today.
They have not, and they use their front four and blitz as little as anyone in the league. That's not their thing, but they rely on that front four. And with a 17-0 lead, I expect Jay Gruden to be very conservative here. His defense is playing well. I don't expect him to try and go high, wide, and handsome here and maybe turn it over, because that'll be a problem. Don't put your defense in jeopardy when they're playing this well this early.
On 3rd and 7. Pressure. Dumps it off. Incomplete. That time the Eagles do get some pressure, and it forces an incompletion, and the Redskins will have to punt.
And I know they threw the ball there, but Keenum adopted that philosophy as well. You notice how Kevin, how he looked in the flat, and it looked like he was going to try and throw a pass into a tight window. Pulled it back, threw the check down. Even though it wasn't completed, he wanted to make sure he was careful with the football.
Darren Sproles back deep to return. Tress Way will punt it away from inside his own 5. 7 punt return touchdowns for Sproles in his career, but it's been a while. It's a heck of a punt by Way. Bomb all the way back at the 26. Sproles coming near sideline and wiggles his way out to about the 38, where the Eagles will have good field position with 5:47 to go in this first half. So one thing about the Eagles offense in their Super Bowl year to last year, totally, they moved the ball. That really wasn't the issue, but there were a couple of issues for them if you really go into the numbers a little bit deeper. 3rd down was not the same. The red zone was not the same, and they couldn't run the football at all. They were a dominant running team a couple years ago. People kind of forget that. They were 30th in rush yards per carry last year. It was a big problem and part of their identity, and quite frankly, I think they're trying to look for that today. They have run the ball for 2.8 yards per carry, just 22 yards in the game running the football, as Miles Sanders, the back, in there now. They've rotated the backs, although Sanders, the rookie, will get it here. Looking for room. There's not much. Charles, we kind of thought that Sanders would be the guy. And, you know, Doug Peterson kind of gave us an inclination. He wanted him to be the guy, but it's been more Sproles, really, than Sanders or Howard so far today.
Well, you know how much Doug Peterson likes and trusts Darren Sproles, both in pass protection, you know, throwing the ball to him, and just being on the field as an equalizer and a stabilizer. But right now, the defensive front of Washington is controlling things in the running game. Eagles not able to get much push and move the ball.
They've done it without Jonathan Allen. Here's Wentz on the fake, throwing complete. Alshon Jeffrey has his first catch today. Working against Josh Norman, it's good for a Philadelphia first down.
And that's significant, not just for the first down, but remember, Alshon Jeffrey really clicked well with Nick Foles, didn't he? They had a nice connection that many thought was lacking with Carson Wentz and Alshon Jeffrey. So I know they worked hard in the offseason to try and get that going. And in addition, Alshon Jeffrey came into this season healthy. Last year he was rehabbing all offseason, didn't get in the same reps as he had the previous year.
That's a good point. Jeffrey matched up against Norman today. Wentz has a lot of time. Stares, fires, incomplete. Tried to sneak it in to Nelson Aguilar, but he couldn't get it there. He was kind of bracketed. Pretty good coverage by Washington.
Excellent coverage. Quentin Dunbar, number 23, was underneath, and Jimmy Moreland, the rookie out of James Madison, number 32, is over the top. So where do you go with the football? He's trying to sneak it in. Look at Dunbar underneath, and then right there, you see Moreland showing up, number 32. And Moreland is an absolute ball hawk. James Madison rookie, 18 career interceptions in his time at James Madison. You're always going to take a chance on a kid who has ball skills like that, and he has played awfully well in the early going for Washington.
Jordan Howard in the game. Fake it to him. Wentz blocked up, got a loft it for Goddard. Oh, incomplete. He caught it and then got drilled on the play by Monte Nicholson. Perfectly timed hit for Nicholson, the safety.
See Landon Collins out in coverage, number 20, and then on the wheel route coming out of there is Goddard with Ryan Anderson, and you nailed it, Kevin, as did Monte Nicholson nailing Dallas Goedert. This is how you hit in 2019 in the NFL. Head is not involved. Shoulder into the shoulder of Goddard with enough force that he can't gather the football in on the second clutch.
3rd and 10. It's only a 3-man rush. Still pressure. Wentz just going to air it out. Going way deep down the field. He's got a touchdown. DeSean Jackson. D-Jax is back. 51 yards on the bomb from Wentz, and the Eagles are on the board.
Well, they threw in the spring. They threw in the offseason in Houston at Carson Wentz's home there. They've gotten to know each other, and the connection comes through early.
And the extra point is up and good. So the Eagles desperately needed something. And DeSean Jackson, who is the king of long touchdowns in his career, here he is.
Okay, so he's in that little bunch formation, and all he's doing is going upfield. And Carson Wentz understands what he has to do because Josh Norman sees the ball, but he can't keep up with the speed of Jackson. But he understands that with DeSean Jackson on a deep route, he's different than other receivers, and this is what I mean. With a lot of receivers, you're trying to get them to fade to the sideline. You're trying to keep the ball away from the DB. With DeSean Jackson, you throw it upfield as far as you can. He's going to eventually outrun the DB with the receiver's call, get himself stacked, and then unstacked, meaning stacked to get on top of the defensive back where he's right behind you, and then you pull away from it. So DeSean Jackson, with his routes, Carson Wentz, having worked with him in the offseason, has grown to understand that. Notice how he just threw the ball upfield and said, go get it, number 10, as opposed to fading him to the sideline.
Listen, he's had a great career, but especially with Philadelphia, his first 6 seasons, 4th most in Eagles history. He's chasing Mike Quick for 3rd overall. 29 career touchdowns at 50+. You just saw another one, 2nd most in NFL history, by the way. So now he's at 30. And as Doug Peterson said to us yesterday, he said he's different because even at age 32, the speed is real.
Speed is real, and Carson Wentz readily admitted it. I've not played with anyone like that. And he said the beauty is, and we've seen it already in this game, Kevin, everything isn't a go route with DeSean Jackson. We've seen him catch the ball underneath. He can run the route tree. He can run at all levels. And if you get the ball to him anywhere, one move, he can turn it into a big play. Boy, how big was that for Philadelphia, though?
That was
how big was
3rd
that?
and 10, by the way.
Just leave it up there. Go get it, 10, and he did.
Well, now how do they respond? How does Case Keenum respond after what's been a great debut for him? 11 of 14, 207 yards. So Wentz delivers the 51-yard bomb to Jackson. Get this crowd back into it, and now we got ourselves a little game. Preseason's officially over, Charles. Now we got something.
You mean it's real now?
I think so. From the 25, it's a fake. Keenum rolling, looking, hit as he throws, incomplete. There's really nobody open. And he finally had to get rid of it. It was Derek Barnett on the pressure.
And one of the few times you'll see Jim Schwartz really stack the line of scrimmage like this. The pressure came from everyone being near the line of scrimmage. Look at everybody in the box here. And then they all keep their keys in their assignments. Malcolm Jenkins does a really nice job. He doesn't just buy the play fake. He stays where Vernon Davis is, which allows Barnett time to get in the face of Keenum and force the incompletion. Look at Jenkins, 27. Reading it, Vernon Davis tries to throw him off, and then the pressure from Barnett had Case Keenum inaccurate.
Play clock down to 1. They got to hurry to get it off. They do. They flip it to Thompson on the left side. Looking for a seam and a good run by Thompson. It's going to end up being a 3rd down, and we'll call it 3.
Another nice play by Barnett. The youngster out of Tennessee who had the torn labrum last year. They need him to play big on the defensive end. And back-to-back plays, pressure on Keenum. And then on the misdirection, he doesn't get fooled and helps chase him down.
Third down and 3. They direct snap to the running back, and he is going to be short. Nigel Bradham with a heck of a tackle, and it'll be a 4th down.
Got to punt the ball here. I can't imagine that they would go for it and backed up in this spot after what had happened. I would be thinking about punting the ball away, but it looks like they're bringing in their heavy crew.
Wow, they're going to go for it in their own territory. You could always try and draw them offside.
Right. Think long count initially before they dive into this. But they have brought out every heavy package that they've got.
Play clock at 1, and they just tried to draw them off sides. Didn't work. Now they'll punt. Worth a try.
It's worth a try, but sometimes I wonder that when you do that, you actually give extra momentum to the defensive side. When, you know, if they don't jump and you've gone through all the shenanigans, they're looking at you like you were never going to do it anyway. Good stand for Philadelphia and a chance to get the ball back with one more shot at it before the half.
And plenty of time. Philadelphia with 2 timeouts left, 2:41 on the clock, so they've got a world of time here as Sproles talking to Deuce Staley, longtime coach. And obviously he said this before, 7 punt return touchdowns in his career. Again, it has been a couple minutes. The last one was 2015 for him, but he's still got that ability. Really, for Sproles, the last 2 years have been filled with injury. So you haven't really seen him at his best. He's been hurt a lot, and here he is at age 36 in his 15th year.
What does he miss, Kevin? 16 of a possible 32 games in the last 2 seasons. That's 1 full season of time that he's missed. But he's excited to be back, and we watched him practice on Friday. He's still quicker than a hiccup.
Tress Way, who had a great punt his last time, waits back for the Redskins. 17-7, 2:41 to go in this first half from Philly. Pressure, Way gets it away. Sproles, fair catch, and we get a flag down on the play as well. Right around the 30. Looks like Fletcher Cox had some pretty good pressure on that punt.
But not close enough to do anything to Tress Way.
Yeah, he's signaling holding on Washington. See if he's right. Guess he is right.
You doubted the big man?
Oh, are you kidding?
During the kick, holding number 55 of the kicking team. Philadelphia is elected to enforce the 10-yard penalty from the previous spot and repeat 4th down.
So they will make him kick it again. I don't blame him. That was a heck of a punt from Tress Way. While we have a moment, why don't we check in with Kurt Menefee?
Coming up on the Visa halftime, it may be the first Sunday, but we're going to call it opening night as Le'Veon Bell and the Jets take center stage against the Bills, and OBJ takes the spotlight in Cleveland. Get your tickets ready for the Visa halftime. It's next.
Kurt, thanks. Look forward to that.
I thought Cleveland would have their hands full with Tennessee, and they do in the early going. I think Tennessee's up 10-6. Not a surprise. That's a good football team in Cleveland, but don't sleep on the Titans.
Let's see if this was a good choice, Charles, to enforce the penalty. The Eagles would have had the ball at their own 20 after the fair catch. They'll do it again. Here's Way. Another unbelievable punt. Look at this. Look at the sidelines, and it's even better for Washington.
Look how he angled it away, because what Philadelphia's counting on was a return by Sproles. And Tress Way said, I will hit another bomb, and I will put it in a place you can't return it anyway.
A 57-yard punt, no return, and Washington actually gains 2 yards after that because of Way's brilliance.
So the chess match continues, and right now, that chess match worked out special teams-wise for Washington. But hey, we saw a blink of an eye last series. One throw, Philadelphia can gain chunks of yardage. You remember you mentioned it was a 3rd and 10, correct?
Yes.
Bomb to Deshaun Jackson. Well, they don't have to have that right now. Let's see if they can move it downfield. 2:27 to go. A 2-minute warning also gives them an extra timeout.
4-man rush. Wentz pumps, looks to run, and he maybe gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Not much there. That's Casanova McKenzie, 2nd-year player from Auburn. And the clock running. Eagles don't seem like they're in too much of a hurry. They've got the 2-minute warning and then 2 timeouts. See if they get off one more play. Doesn't look like it. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning, where the Redskins got off to an unbelievable start up top to McLaurin, 17-0, but the Eagles responding with the deep ball to Jackson, 17-7. 2 minutes ago, first half from Philly. 17-7, the Redskins leading the Eagles here with 17-zip until a 51-yard pass to Deshaun Jackson on the Eagles' last possession here. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Philadelphia with the football and a 2nd and 10, 2 timeouts as well. There's Wentz with time, fires over the middle, incomplete. Josh Norman with the coverage on Alshon Jeffrey, and it's a 3rd and 10, and Norman probably thinking he should have had that one.
2 things crossed my mind. One, you remember early in his tenure in Washington, Josh Norman didn't go with the #1 receiver. He would stay on one side and cover. Today, he's going with Alshon Jeffrey. He's going wherever he's going. Second thing is, when's the last time you called Zach Ertz's name?
Once
today. You know, guy caught 116 balls last year. Hasn't really been involved in the offense here in the early going.
On 3rd and 10, try to set it up for a little screen to Jackson, who is going to come up short. Clock will wind. Redskins have 1 timeout if they choose to take it. Quentin Dunbar's had a nice first half in on the stop.
Well, they pursued well on that one, didn't they? Washington did. Once they realized what the play was, all of a sudden a bunch of white shirts to the football on the sideline, led by, as you noted, partner Quentin Dunbar. Big time.
Well, we have this moment. We celebrate the 100th year of the NFL, and let's hear from our buddy Dick Stockton with a moment. See, we'll hear with Stockton, D-Stock, in just a moment, actually. Let's see what happens here first. So the Redskins, by the way, the clock has stopped because they called their final timeout on that play. I think it's probably the right call because he would have wasted another 40 seconds here. So they'll have a lot of time. 1:48 in this first half, and they should get decent field position. Cameron Johnston with the punt. Here's Quinn, fair catch, and Washington will have it at the 29. Now we made Dick Stockton wait. Now let's hear from Dick Stockton on the call.
333 yards passing, 4 touchdown passes, 80 yards rushing, and 2 rushing TDs. Madden football numbers? No. But the best ever fantasy day by a quarterback. The most impressive number? 1. Michael Vick is the only player in NFL history to ever accomplish such a feat.
Dick, of course, as good as it gets in this industry, our colleague here at Fox. So is Michael Vick, by the way. Kickoff show earlier today, so how about that? 1st and 10 for Washington, 1:41 to go in the half. 17-7, they lead it. Here's Keenum. 4-man rush, slings it over the middle. It's caught by Richardson, who's got himself a 6-yard gain.
And remember, I talked about Jay Gruden being conservative earlier with the 17-0 lead. He's got a veteran quarterback that he trusts. And now he's going to turn him loose in this 2 minute to try and get some more points on the board before the half.
Pressure up the middle. Keenum hit as he throws, incomplete. Had no choice. Tried to get it to Trey Quinn. And a 3rd down and 3. We get a quick game break from Carissa Thompson.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Vikings up 14-0 in Atlanta. Kirk Cousins keeps this one for himself for that 1-yard score. His 15th career rushing touchdown. Vikings up 21-0. Kevin?
Carissa, thanks. See the Ravens score? It's 42-3 Baltimore over Miami in the 2nd quarter. And Lamar Jackson's his 4 touchdowns passing already. Just throwing it out there.
I thought he was just a runner.
Guess not.
Not today anyway, that's for sure.
Big 3rd and 3 here.
And the pressure has ramped up from the front to Philadelphia in the last couple of series.
Play clock down to 1-0. They'll get it off. Keenum goes far side. He's got a catch, and he's got another 1st down. It's to Richardson. Again, Washington without timeouts as the clock runs at 1:08.
Nice, easy efficiency by Case Keenum. Back foot hits to the top of his drop. Ball's out of his hand. 1st down.
Time again. Fires near side and high. Try to get it one more time to Paul Richardson. Remember, he signed the big deal from Seattle. He signed a 5-year, $40 million deal. He had a career year 2 years ago and just had the 7 games last year, shoulder surgery.
Really tough when you remember him playing up in Seattle. He had the broken fingers on his hand and the extra stitches, and he played all the way through. So it takes a lot to knock him off the field, and he's played well here in the early going. Part of Case Keenum distributing the ball to a number of targets.
Gets a little breather here. 53 seconds to go in the half. 4-man rush. Keenum gets rid of it. Davis makes the catch, tackled immediately on the play by Jenkins. And whistles blowing. Eagles will call a timeout here with 48 seconds to go. Well, Redskins trying to add to their lead, 17-7. And you know, it's interesting though, the story, we said all eyes on Carson Wentz, and the Eagles offense just had the one big play. They did have a nice drive. It just feels like they've never been able to really get going in this half.
I don't think they've solved the defensive front of Washington very well. Jason Kelsey, the all-pro center, he handles the line calls. I know those adjustments, they're trying to make them from series to series, but that defensive front of Washington has been very difficult for them to move off of the ball in the running game. And in the passing game, they've provided a little bit of pressure. So far, you haven't seen it. Let's see what they do after halftime with a few adjustments. See if they can find some space for Miles Sanders to run.
Yeah, I think kudos to this offensive line for Washington. They've played a heck of a game. No sacks for Philadelphia. 3rd down and 4. Keenum stands in, firing. McLaurin battling, and McLaurin can't hold on. No, yes he does. It's a catch. What an effort by the rookie McLaurin, who already has a 70-yard touchdown.
And look how he sees the ball before Darby. Lets Darby go by him just enough to come back to the football. And he's able to make the play on it before Darby can. Even though Darby gets involved, McLaurin uses his strong hands to take it away. How about those speed guys showing they can run those underneath routes and make the difficult contested catch?
Not only that, but then he catches it and he's out of bounds, so it stops the clock with 42 seconds to go. Redskins already in field goal range. McLaurin been impressive in this first half in his pro debut, and now we get a whistle.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
They've been perilously close a few times to that delay of game. That time it finally happened. Ryder coming up at the half. Visa halftime show. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony will be with you. The Foles, you heard Kurt say earlier, had a good start, but then he got hurt. And the Titans, everybody's picked the Browns. Well, the Titans are beating the Browns right now in Cleveland. 1st down and 15 after the penalty. Keenum. Pressure comes, and Keenum is sacked. It's a big one. Jernigan will knock him out of field goal range, and the Redskins have no timeouts.
Big Timmy got home that time, but he's going to have to thank the guys in the back end there, because their coverage allowed him to make that move, that last move, and get to Keenum.
Time winding down. 18 seconds left. Keenum floats it over the middle, and he's got a completion to Thompson, who gets to the 35. Now they'll have a chance to stop the clock. They got to hurry up and do it and spike it if they want a long field goal try.
They'll get it.
And Keenum calmly gets him up there, and they will have a field goal attempt here. And we get a flag. Hang on.
This might mess up the field goal attempt, or we could have offsetting, because I think we've got an offsides on Philadelphia. And if they call something for the extracurricular, that could offset it. We'll see.
Offside. Defense number 96. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
That just made the field goal a heck of a lot easier.
And Derek Barnett, who's played well here in the first half, but there he is, creeping inside, and he ends up bringing Hassan Ridgeway, number 98, with him. See that? And then Donald Penn's like, get on your side of the line of scrimmage.
Is well within Dustin Hopkins' range. His career-long and season-long last year, 56. This would be a 48-yarder. He's hit from 41 today to extend back and add to the lead. But hang on, the Eagles will call a timeout. Ice the kicker.
You can't take them with you. You're not going to carry over to the second half. You might as well give it a shot.
How about the Redskins offense? 278 yards in this first half.
Well, the key for me is the two big plays. Now, the Vernon Davis touchdown for 48 was not a big throw downfield. It was a throw into the flat, and Vernon Davis broke it into something. But the big throw to McLaurin, those are the types of plays you're going to have in Washington's offensive scheme in order to create space for them to run the football, which is what they want to do first. And that's working well for them today.
So here we go after the timeout. Hopkins will try it from 48 yards away. Tressway on the hold. Hopkins does his job. It is 20-7. 13-point lead for the Redskins as we take it to halftime here in Philadelphia. Case Keenum in midseason form for these Redskins. What a half for Washington. They've got the big lead at the half. Halftime show with Kurt and the guys coming your way next from Los Angeles.
The money tell me Tony ain't a lobster. 5 a.m. I'm on the north side of Philly. Riding around like these haters don't want to kill me. It's a shame how they hate on me. You gotta feel me. $100 used to do that every week. Never sleep is funny. I would never speak. You see a foreign in my city, that was me.
That was today's Game Flow brought to you by Progressive. It is a 20-7 game as we get set for the third quarter. Here from Philadelphia, Washington in the lead. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the booth. Charles Davis. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. And, stunner to start. It was 17-0. And I think just the crispness of Washington's offense, I mean, from the get-go.
People were worried about Trent Williams, the left tackle, being out. Donald Penn has held down that side quite well. That hasn't been a problem. They've run the ball effectively. Case Keenum has been exactly what you would expect from a veteran guy. Poised. Ball was moving from target to target, and then when it's time for big plays, they hit those as well.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, their defense has made a lot of that stand up, save the big pass they gave up to Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it, right? I mean, the Eagles, we documented when they were good in 2017, the difference they ran the ball. Last year, they couldn't run the ball. And I think if you look at this half, they had the one play, the bomb to Deshaun Jackson. That's it.
Well, the rush yards, only 22 for Philadelphia, just 30 for Washington. But Washington being able to run it on first down just enough that it set up the big touchdown pass from Keenum to McLaurin because they'd run it so many times and then able to throw the big shot over the top.
Eagles start with the ball. Let's go down to the sidelines with Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Kevin, the Eagles pretty much caught flat-footed on both sides of the ball in that first half. Doug Peterson, we talked about the defense. He said a couple of things happened. First, we couldn't get off the field on a couple of key third downs. He also said that we also need to get in rhythm on offense. I asked, what about Zach Ertz? What's up with that? 1 catch for 5 yards for their key playmaker. He said, I'm trying to spread the ball around. We'll see if he ventures away from that plan for the second half.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? The Eagles have so many weapons, and maybe week one it's too many in some ways, right?
Great question by Pam. 116 catches last year, 1 in the first half. I would expect him to be targeted more.
Well, they will run the ball here and trying to get Sproles to the outside. Picks up a few.
But the story of the second half to me for Philadelphia's offense is going to be if they can get the running game going. Only 9 runs in the first half. 22 yards. Miles Sanders, the hot rookie coming in, 3 carries, 0 yards. They've got to be able to get to the running game, be able to commit to it, but that means solving the defensive front of Washington. Let's see what the halftime brings us. If Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach, Jason Kelsey, their center, who handles a lot of the line calls, if they've come up with something to handle the scheme of Washington and move them off the line of scrimmage.
I'll run it here. Going to be another short game. There's Sanders, the rookie. The only momentum they've had running is Jordan Howard. He came in, he got 2 straight carries, he picked up 12 yards, and then he hasn't really seen the field for the most part since then. And this is against a defensive line for Washington, which is the strength of their team, but they're playing without their best player, Jonathan Allen, who got hurt early in this game, and he hasn't been back with a knee, so it's a big deal.
And they've been mixing and matching in there, and that means they brought in their rookie right there, number 90, Montez Sweat. who's now come into the game to play a little bit more. And they've kicked Matt Ioannidis inside, number 98, instead of playing off of the edge.
3-5, they'll run it to Sproles, breaks one tackle, still working forward, and he's going to be close, but he's going to be short. Well, he went for it on 4th down after a 12-play drive. How gutsy is he? Doug Peterson going to go for it here?
I wouldn't be that gutsy. It's just 20-7 here in the 3rd quarter. I wouldn't do it here. I would punt the football away. But we all know Doug Peterson, don't we?
Oh, he's doing it.
He really does not much care what I think.
As he always says, right? He told us just the other day, pedal to the metal, not going to hold back, and they're going to go for it on 4th down again. They were denied earlier this game. It'll be a 4th and 1.
Do they sneak it here?
They do, and he's got it. 1st down, Philadelphia.
Go back very quickly here. Remember, Pam Oliver said that Doug Peterson told her he was going to cut Carson Wentz loose. Well, he's not exactly trying to keep him protected with 2 quarterback sneaks, is he? Right? He's telling him you got to go play. So Pam's report was spot on with that one.
Blitz coming. It's picked up. Wentz throws far side. He got a completion. It's Jeffrey who makes the catch and the cut. And Alshon Jeffrey picks up a 1st down for the Eagles after a gain of 12.
And if Josh Norman is going to be out there with him, whether he's in press, and he went press, he showed press, and then he bailed out and created space when Jeffrey came back to the football. Well, now it becomes a basketball game for Alshon Jeffrey with Josh Norman, because that's Alshon Jeffrey's first love. He likes to say he catches the football and dunks on people. Well, use that body, use that frame, use that catch radius if you're going to throw the ball against Josh Norman to try and get your completions.
2 tight ends. They line up Ertz wide to the top. Dallas Goedert in the game as well.
There's Ertz right there.
Blitz. Wentz gets rid of it. Nice catch by Jeffrey. And that one-handed tackle by Norman. Otherwise, that could have been a big game. As he yanked Jeffrey down, the crowd moans. They were thinking horse collar. Let's look.
And again, Josh Norman shows press coverage, but he does what they call bail technique. Show the press, Kevin, and then back out to go into your coverage. And again, that creates enough area for Alshon Jeffrey to come back and get the football before it's contested by Josh Norman.
Yeah, not a horse collar, just a good strong tackle. Quentin Dunbar getting work done on the field for Washington. With that, we take a break in the 3rd. Opening week kickoff of the NFL here in 2019, the 100th season of the National Football League. Year number 26, NFL on Fox. Glad you're with us this afternoon from Philadelphia. Quentin Dunbar walking around, maybe cramping. It's hot out, and these guys didn't play in the preseason for the most part, so that is a factor here today. 2nd down and 5 for the Eagles on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. They get it to Sproles, looking for a seam. A little stutter step at 1st down.
Something, isn't he? But I think these guys are doing a better job here in the 2nd half. Zone blocking. Look at Kelsey controls it there. Sayamalu 73 locked up. Peter 71 locked up. That allows Sproles to use his eyes to find the open grass and pick up a 1st down.
2 tight ends again for Philadelphia. Sproles right up the middle. Big hole. Sproles, the spin move inside the 25 down to the 22. And the run game getting a little juice, a 17-yard gain for the Eagles.
Oh, check this out, folks. Watch Jason Peters, number 71, right here. Look at that with a double team with Sayamalu. And a nice job bringing that back inside. And Goddard, 88, the tight end who's improved his blocking, does a nice job on the backside to create that gap for Darren Sproles.
Eagles stay 2 tight ends. Sproles gets a breather. Sanders, the rookie, now in. On 1st down, Sanders gets it up the middle. Big hole. Miles Sanders inside the 5. It's 1st and goal. Doug Peterson has gone to the run, and it's working on this drive in the 3rd quarter.
And Doug Peterson's not afraid to pretty much run the same stuff. Look at that gap right there. That was essentially the same play coming back again. And that's a sign of a mature play caller, a guy who has confidence. You don't just look at the play sheet and say, I have to use all of them. If something's working, and I get that same look. Let's get back to it. And it created a gap, a major gap, a gash inside for Sanders to run through. And look at Brandon Brooks. How did he come back, Kevin, from a torn Achilles in January in New Orleans in the playoff game and make the season opener?
For the guy that weighs 335 pounds, I have no idea. Meanwhile, there's an injury. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie was on the tackle, and they're working on his hand as now he jogs off with the training staff. Cromartie's 45 here. Really
could very well have just hit it, you know, when he tried to make the tackle, and then he ends up hitting the ground as well. But look at the space and the openings that offensive line has come together. We talked about halftime. Could they adjust? Could they find a scheme? Could they find a way to move that Washington defensive front? On this drive, it appears they have a few answers.
Well, they've got 55 yards rushing already in this second half. What a difference. They had 22 in the first half. There's Wentz. Sanders taken down. There is Landon Collins, the guy they paid $84 million to come over from the Giants, and he just made a heck of a play.
Watch Landon Collins. Just reads, and he really is playing linebacker there. He's not playing safety. He's playing on the second level, and that's one of his strengths, able to read and react with force. And a big play by the new captain of the Washington Redskins, Landon Collins.
Second and goal. Wentz gives to Sanders again, and he gets swallowed up. Absolutely nowhere to go. Deron Payne, the big fella, was right in there. First-round draft pick out of Alabama last year, and now a third and goal.
Remember all those schemes that were working to get them down there? Well, those guys right there, they adjust too. I mean, they get a paycheck, right? And Greg Minuski, the defense coordinator, they got together and said, okay, here we go. Now, he looks like Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Remember him, the old WWE wrestler? I think Greg could go in there and get a couple rounds in, don't you?
I thought he was wearing a white undershirt. Looked like he just did 20 curls. Here's Wentz, third and goal. Back to pass, pressure, rolls out, throws in. It is caught! Touchdown! Alshon Jeffrey.
There's Jeffrey, 17, and he gets away where Josh Norman is not over the top of him. So it ends up being John Bostic, the linebacker, and that's a matchup you'll take every time. And Carson Wentz does a really nice job getting outside the pocket, buying time, and putting the ball out in front of Jeffrey. And even though the contest is being contested by Bostic, hauls it in, and the Eagles are on the board again.
And so Philadelphia gets the ball in the third quarter. They use the run game on that drive. Has 53 yards on the ground, including a 4th and 1 quarterback sneak on that drive, and they culminated on a third and goal with a touchdown to Jeffrey. The extra point is up and good, and all of a sudden it's a 6-point game.
Didn't you tell him not to go for it on 4th and 1? Oh, that was me. They not to go for it on 4th and 1.
Well, that's why you're next to me up here.
You got me right, didn't you?
Wentz delivering to Jeffrey. It's a 6-point Redskin lead. Eagles have 2 touchdowns this afternoon. Both have come on third downs. This one, Alshon Jeffrey with a 5-yard catch, 12-play drive, and they got back to the ground game. 22 yards rushing in the first half. Charles, 53 on that opening drive of the third quarter. Now we got a game. Washington up by 6 as they will start from their own 25. Let's go down to the sidelines with Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Kevin, I'll tell you something. Jay Gruden told me at the half that since the Eagles would come out and have the ball, that it was critical for them to make a stop. Well, that didn't happen. But so far, the Washington Redskins have proven to be very resilient. They'll need to continue to be very resilient. Jay Gruden telling me we're a good football team. We fight hard, so don't be surprised.
Well, now, Pam, now they're going to show us the fight. See what they got in them. As great as Keenum has played in this Washington O, I should say. Here is Geis, and he has nowhere to go. There is Brandon Graham, who many thought, Charles, that he would not be an Eagle after last year. You know, a guy that they drafted and brought along for a long time. He even told us that he shipped all the stuff out of his house here in the area because he didn't think he was coming back.
He didn't think he was coming back. You remember how emotional he was at the end of the New Orleans game in the playoffs. He was hugging the media. He was hugging people with the organization. He thought it was the last time. But lo and behold, they come to a contract agreement, and he just made a nice play. And here he is now, ready to roll again.
And we get a whistle. And Graham in his 10th year.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. It's second down.
Okay, Kevin. Let's take, I think, we were talking about Brandon Graham and him being emotional. You had mentioned it, Kevin. This is it right here. After the New Orleans playoff game, as you mentioned, he thought this was it.
Yeah. And look, I mean, he lives in Philadelphia sports lore forever with the sack of Tom Brady and the Super Bowl, obviously causing the fumble, and super well liked on this team. And he's back. Got a nice deal. Back in the fold, 3 years, $40 million as they will run it. Now Fletcher Cox with a huge play and a big loss.
I know it's the city of brotherly love, right? But it's also the city of Rocky Balboa. And right now, this defensive front, they're on their toes, and they're the ones punching right now. How does Washington calm that down? They tried it with a draw there. Now it's third and forever. Do you let Keenum go back and throw it, or do you throw something safe here and try and get out without disaster?
This place is going nuts right now.
Look how they're defending. Everyone's back here to guard the first down line.
They will just play it safe, get it to Geis on the screen, and he is going to be tackled well shy. Brandon Graham was chasing after him from behind. Actually, it was Thompson, not Geis. And it's a punt coming up for Washington.
And Graham rushed the passer first. That's what they call retracing for a defensive lineman, right? You go upfield, you rush the passer, you retrace your steps, and he comes all the way downfield to get a piece of that tackle. He definitely wanted to be in Philadelphia because he took a pay cut in order to sign a contract to come back. He could have gone elsewhere. This is where he wanted to be. Said he had unfinished business here. He thinks they have another chance for a Super Bowl.
Returnable for Sproles. Makes a cut up to the 40, to the 45, and a good return. And really, for the first time all day, the Eagles have some momentum. The defense showing up in this second half with Graham and then Fletcher Cox, the All-Pro. Eagles football down by 6. Back to Philly next. So when you give up 17 points just like that, you don't get anything. But when you get a 3 and out, you get a shade. That's how it works.
Things change around.
But then, look, if you're the quarterback, you had a great first half, and then Case Keenum gets nothing. He's got sun in his face.
What have you done on your last drive? It's tough. NFL's tough, man.
So what have you done for me lately, Lee?
What do the guys tell us all the time? It's a result-oriented business.
You see, things have cooled for the offense for Washington. But that by far was the best series for the Eagles defense. And now look at that because of that. And the shorter kick and a good return. Here they are in good position. Here is Wentz. Looking, nobody there. Trying to set up Jordan Howard on a screen, but the Redskins defense did well. As we have another game break, let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks so much, Kevin. So Jets up 8-0, and Peter Schrager told us this morning on the pregame show that Le'Veon Bell spent last season studying receivers. It paid off with this 9-yard reception. The 2-point conversion was also good. Jets up in this one, 16-0. Kevin, Charles, and Graham.
That's interesting, Carissa, because if he was studying receivers, remember what he did when he was just a running back in Pittsburgh as a receiver?
Yeah.
He already was one of the better receivers in the league. Now he studies them, adds to his game. The Jets benefit.
Jordan Howard in the game at tailback. Here's Wentz, quick throw, tries to get it to Ertz, and it's low. Just missed him.
Well, Pam did tell us at halftime, Pam Oliver, that Zach Ertz had 1 catch for 5 yards in the first half. With Doug Peterson trying to get him the ball more, so he's trying to spread it around. Tried to target him there, unable to connect.
On third down, 4-man rush. Pressure comes. Wentz gonna let it fly. He's got Jackson again. He's got it. Touchdown. Welcome back to Philadelphia. Deshaun Jackson, 2 bombs today, 51 and now 53 and a somersault.
Saw the GM there, Howie Roseman, think he was happy. But watch back here. Watch the back end of the coverage. Nicholson moves to the middle of the field because he feels the threat there. But Deshaun Jackson is the bigger threat to his left. And when he tries to double back, it's too late. What's the old song say? I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real.
I think
this is sorry, not sorry.
I think now the current song is Fly Eagles Fly.
No
Philly
doubt.
is in front, 21-20. What a game. I guess Deshaun Jackson's happy to be back in Philadelphia. I mean, that was the sentiment all offseason, certainly at camp the other day, and he is going off here today.
And he's got an early connection with his quarterback, which he did not have in Tampa with Jameis Winston. He had it with Ryan Fitzpatrick, but he didn't have it with Winston. Already, he and Carson Wentz are collaborating.
Short kick here as Sims takes it and then tries to find a seam on the outside. Let's look at the touchdown, Charles.
Okay, so take a look first. All right, this Monte Nicholson, the safety, okay? But watch, he sees this instead of seeing this. And that's what the problem is. The inside route, he gets drawn to it. His eyes go to the wrong place. His body goes with them. And then Jackson, of course, takes it and finishes it. Now watch the eyes Carson Wentz. He knows he's got Jackson right there. But he comes back left to freeze the safety and take him that way. And then he comes back right for the payoff to Deshaun Jackson. That's what you call holding the safety with your eyes in your head to make sure you get the route you really want downfield.
What a shot that was. That was awesome. Michael Tatamir on the shot on camera, which was great to see Wentz's eyes. Now Keenum going deep. He's got a man, and he overthrew McLaurin. He had him, and he knew it. Terry McLaurin already has a 70-yard touchdown in this game, and he would add another one.
Well, coming into the season, many people were questioning Carson Wentz's deep ball throwing. That's improved already. This is not something that's a strength of Case Keenum's, throwing the deep ball. But we saw it earlier with McLaurin hitting him for the touchdown, and a missed opportunity on that one. And as you pointed out, Kevin, Case Keenum knew it.
He did. He had him. Boy, he can fly. You documented his speed, 4.35 40 at the combine, but he is torched the Eagles secondary twice today. Play clock down at 1. They'll get it off. Keenum going to fire it. It's dropped. And you got to make that catch. It was Paul Richardson on the slant. Would have been a first down, and now it's 3rd and 10.
Earlier in the game, all the receivers were making all of the catches. Game's gotten tight now. You're down 1. They need them. These are the catches you have to have. That one hits Richardson in his hands, unable to come up with it. Jay Gruden trying to dial up a big 3rd down here. I've not called Trey Quinn's name either catching the ball, have you?
No.
Number 16 in the slot. They need him to get active.
Chris Thompson split out to the top of the screen, the running back. 3rd and 10. 4-man rush. Quick go over the middle. It's dropped again. Vernon Davis. Sidney Jones was in there, but we have a penalty. So let's see what this is back at the line of scrimmage.
That's from the umpire, probably a hold.
And it is.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
That penalty was on Donald Penn, the left tackle who's replacing Trent Williams, their Pro Bowl left tackle. And what did he tell us in our conversation? He said, I just want to go through the game unnoticed, meaning that way I'm handling my business, doing a good job. Unfortunately, he just got noticed. He's been having a nice game for the most part. Tough one there.
Here's Tress Way, who's had a nice day punting. This is another boomer. Back to the 15 for Sproles. To the outside, makes a nice move, dancing around. Up around the 29-yard line, and that's where Philadelphia will start off. So Deshaun Jackson, who never wanted to leave, was essentially released by Chip Kelly. And guess what? He could be more excited to be back, and Carson Wentz is certainly happy to have him. He's gone deep for a 51-yarder. He's gone deep for a 53-yarder, and he's having already an unbelievable day. 6 catches, 126 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and 3 somersaults.
Head over heels, back in love with Philadelphia. And guess what? That love's being reciprocated by this crowd here today with those 2 big plays. course, he got the monster ovation when he got introduced prior to the game, too. They're very happy to have D-Jack back in their city.
Of course, he signed a 3-year deal with Washington after he was released. How about this? 2 catches of 50-plus yards. That's a rarity. 2 more 50-plus yards touchdowns. Now 5 behind Jerry Rice for the all-time record. Now the Eagles in front. Here is Zach Ertz, who makes a catch. And Charles, I was just going to say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the momentum in a hurry. I mean, going in a half, it was all Washington, and now third quarter has been dominated by Philadelphia.
And I think it started with their offensive line controlling the line of scrimmage, getting the running game going. Because we'll remember the big plays. That's easy, right? That'll be the highlight stuff. But that offensive line, who had struggled with that Washington defensive front, they started to create good opportunities for their runners, and that allowed them to open up the playbook again a little bit more.
Second down. Redskins show blitz. Sanders lost it and did get it back. That was almost disaster for the rookie, but he bobbled and hung on. It's third down.
Let's see, was it the pocket? Where's the ball put in? Yeah. Put it in there. It almost felt like he put it a little bit too far over. You know, one of those things where you try to stick it in the stomach, but their timing's coming along.
5 of 10 on third down for the game are the Eagles. Need to get out to the 39 here. They got to go. Deshaun Jackson lined up on top. You heard Wentz, 3-man rush. They do go. Wentz going for Jackson again, and he's got it again for a first down. It's the Deshaun Jackson return to Philadelphia show, and he moves the chains for Philly. 19 on that catch.
There's Quentin Dunbar reading inside. He's got a safety who's supposed to come underneath Monte Nicholson, where they call buzzing the safety to the flat. I'm not sure Nicholson got enough depth and enough width on that play. He stopped his feet very short, and that allowed the opening for Wentz to throw the ball to Jackson. Because Quentin Dunbar looks like it's his coverage. I don't think it is. I think it's Nicholson underneath who didn't get outside for him.
Blitz coming, quick to Aguilar. Looking for a block, gets to the edge, and in Washington territory now. As Aguilar's got about 4 yards on the catch. Well, it's interesting, early in the game, Charles, they had a lot, it seemed like at least they had a lot, maybe that's just the way the zone matched up, they had a lot of one-on-one with Dunbar on Jackson. And now it seems like, again, we're not looking at the film, just watching from up here, but it seems like more zone lately.
And that last one definitely was zone with Dunbar in the backside and Nicholson in the short zone. And Jackson showing he's not just a deep threat, running the underneath routes too.
Sproles and Atlantic Collins is right there for a short game. Let's get an update on Jonathan Allen. Go downstairs to Pam.
Yes, Kevin, Jonathan Allen has not been in the game since he had that knee injury earlier in the game, and I asked the Redskins about that. They said he is still listed as questionable with that knee injury. They will only go to him if they need to. Back to you.
Yeah, Pam, he's been lingering too, right? We've seen him with his helmet kind of on the sidelines, but I'm sure if they can do without him, they would, but he's a huge force. Third down and 4. Wentz throws complete. Guess who? There's a theme developing here, Charles.
And he took advantage of the youngster, too. Jimmy Moreland, number 32, because when you show that deep threat, watch to the right side of your screen. Look how Moreland, 32, is getting out of there. See, he was backing up the entire way because he's seen what's happened to his fellow teammates. Watch 32. He's going to clear. Okay. Oh, he's going to run deep. He's underneath. And the Frederick gets it.
By the way, how about the blitz pickup by Miles Sanders there?
Another one
across the formation.
Deuce Staley, the running backs coach, said he was ready. He's showing that today.
Here's Sanders on the run. Breaks it to the outside, and a good run for Sanders inside the 30. He's going to pick up nearly 8 yards. And I think just the fact he's in there on a third down, because with Sproles has always been the best blitz pickup guy on this team. So I think the fact that he's even playing on third down says a lot about the trust, right?
And there's the guy, Deuce Staley, one of the better runners that the Eagles have had in their history. A terrific running backs coach, assistant head coach here. He does a great job tutoring these youngsters. And he told Doug Peterson this week, don't worry about him in blitz pickup. He's ready. And he's proving up to the task.
2nd and 2. Wentz, time, fires, and is caught. There is the tight end, Hurts, who makes a cut inside the 5, and he's diving down near the 1. It's been a quiet day for the record holder for catches by a tight end, but he finishes the third quarter with a flurry. First and goal, Eagles, as Ertz gets involved. Zach Ertz diving. Philly with the lead and looking for more after 3. In a game the Redskins led 17-0 in the early going. Well, the Eagles just went crazy in the third quarter. 14 points, dominant on defense, so much to the tune of 197 yards to 6. They got back to the running game, and then it's opened up the deep ball for Deshaun Jackson, who has had a monster game. And now they start the fourth quarter with a first and goal.
What a flip from the first quarter where the dominance was all Washington. Numbers similar. Now the Eagles trying to punch in another one.
Eagles go with an extra lineman, and they go 2 tight ends as well. Zach Ertz lined up to the top of your screen. They're going to flip it. Jeffrey's got it, and he's in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
So watch Jeffrey. He comes in motion inside. Now he goes back out. But this is a variation of a play we've seen become very popular, where you run the screen, and there's Andre Dillard, the first-round pick, number 77. He was the extra lineman you referenced, Kevin, that came into the ball game. He was trying to find someone to block. The guys took care of business inside, and then, of course, Jeffrey made his own way into the end zone after the initial contact.
That'll actually go as a touchdown run for Alshon Jeffrey because the pass was behind the line of scrimmage. And how about this? It's a 7-point game. An extra point would make it an 8-point game. So Doug Peterson trying to make it a 2-possession game with this.
And well, what did he tell Pam? I'm going to cut Carson loose, and I'm going to put my foot down on the gas. This is a way of doing it.
3 tight ends in the game for Philadelphia. A little flip, Sproles, cuts, slips, and spins his way in for 2. The Eagles were relatively quiet in the first half. The Redskins came out on fire, and they have just exploded in the second half.
And it's been a complete team explosion. Because here's the big play to Zach Ertz on the drive. Underneath, Quentin Dunbar thinks he's got a chance to make a play on the football. Doesn't read it well on the undercut, and it goes big. Now watch Jeffrey, inside, outside, but still coming back inside and gaining a screen. Now, we've seen this play over the last couple of years, and here's a 2-point conversion. Watch Sproles. As quick as he is, he slips, gets himself up quicker than everyone else, and goes into the end zone. But back to the Jeffrey play, we've seen that play a lot in the last couple of seasons. But normally, Jeffrey would be all the way outside wide, would just motion inside and catch it on the run, catching the screen. The Eagles have given us a different variation. People are trying to dress it up differently because defenses are starting to tumble to it.
Pretty hard to stop if it's executed correctly. And like you said, a little wrinkle on that play, and it works. And all of a sudden, the Eagles, who are down 17, have a 9-point lead in the early going in this fourth quarter as Sims upended at the 22. Well, we should tell you that you can start your Saturday strong with Big Noon Saturday as number 5 Ohio State faces Indiana, followed by a Pac-12 Big Ten matchup between Arizona State and Michigan State. And then finally, primetime showdown, Jalen Hurts and number 4 Oklahoma against struggling UCLA. Catch it all on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
How about that? It's a pretty good lineup there. Michigan State lost at Arizona State last year. They want revenge. And Jalen Hurts is playing like he's going to be the 3rd quarterback in a row at Oklahoma to win the Heisman. I mean, he's off to an incredible start doing his thing out there for the Sooners.
The Redskins offense, which started this game on fire, has been utterly silent of late. They'll swing it out in the flat. They get Geis, who has a strong run. Going to pick up about 7 yards on first down. So in a game, Charles, where the Redskins coach's decision did not dress Adrian Peterson. Geist, the rookie, 9 carries, 15 yards. Obviously, that's not a good average. 1.7 hasn't been too much of a factor, and it's an interesting call. Peterson ran for 1,000 yards last year. Jay Gruden said, well, he doesn't play special teams, and I want to get Geist the ball, but sure would like to have him right about now. No.
It's almost as if I have Peterson there, I won't give the ball to Geist.
Yeah.
I really want to get him going.
There's a flag as this play may be coming back. And we see what Ron Torbord has as Peterson. There he is on the sidelines. They got to be strange for him. Indeed, and Washington moving backwards.
Can't imagine he's ever been a healthy scratch before.
No. Well, everybody's moving back in Washington. You're just waiting for the official call. Sure looks like a hold.
There were 2 fouls during the play, both by the offense. Holding. Offense number 76. That penalty is declined. Personal foul. Chop block. Offense number 72 and number 77. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
Well, we were talking about Adrian Peterson. More on that. Pammy, what do you got?
Yeah, Kevin, this is some very unfamiliar territory for Adrian Peterson. This is his first healthy scratch in his 13-year career. Now, Peterson told me that Jay Gruden called him in on Monday and said that he was turning the reins over to Darius Geist. Peterson said he will help the second-year player as much as he can, but this is very difficult for him. 2 days ago, when Gruden gave him that bad news, Peterson was named the Redskins 2018 Offensive MVP.
Wow.
Great confirmation on healthy scratch. First time ever, Pam, and I can't imagine that type of news and then looking at your MVP award from just a season ago.
Eagles come with a blitz. Keenum in trouble. Bradham in hot pursuit. He eludes. Still looking. Firing. He's got a completion to Thompson out across the 20. I will say this about Peterson, right? So Pam says unbelievable. The MVP from last year, and he's not even dressing. But you know what? In a week where we saw the absolute zaniness from a wide receiver out with the Raiders, who now is on the Patriots.
Yep.
Adrian Peterson didn't say a thing this week. Just was a true professional.
We had a chance to talk. You see all the coverage that was happening there. I mean, these Eagles are really locking down on receivers, but we had a chance to talk to Adrian in pregame and ask him about it. And I just asked him straight up, do you feel like they were straight with you? And the answer from him was as straight as they could be. So he's handling it like a pro, which is something that we did not see out on the coast by any stretch of the imagination.
As Barnett drawing a penalty, looks like Donald Penn moved.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. It's third down.
So this Eagles crowd, I think, has gotten involved, Kevin. You know, I'm wondering if they're having trouble with the snap count. Are they having trouble hearing? Do they have to go to a silent count? And right now, remember I talked about the Eagles were on their toes punching on defense? I think they're throwing bombs right now because now they get a chance to really tee off on 3rd and 15. And they'll rely on their secondary to cover up anything if the ball gets away.
3rd and 15 as Keenum looking near side. Vernon Davis. Davis is going to be short. Punting time for Washington. We've got a game break, and let's say hi to Kurt Menefee.
Hi, Kevin. Well, you were talking about Adrian Peterson. Another interesting running back situation this early in the season going on with the Rams. Malcolm Brown gets his 2nd touchdown of the game against Carolina. He's had 11 touches. Todd Gurley in the 4th quarter has only touched the ball 7 times so far. 23-13, they've got the lead.
Wow, Kurt, that is something. So the next time we hear really from the Rams camp that Gurley is fine and expected to go, it's hard to actually say that that's true because we're not seeing the normal touches from Todd Gurley.
Eagles get close on the punt block. Good high kick. Here's Sproles. A little dance move, and he's just got nowhere to go. Well covered by Washington. Well, this game has certainly turned around. 21 points in this second half for Philadelphia. They were down 17. Now they're up 9, and this crowd is into it. So is this defense. Eagles football and their lead in the 4th. Kickoff 2019. It is week 1, year number 100 for the NFL here in Philadelphia with 12:05 to go, where the Eagles have a 29-20 lead, along with Pam Oliver on the field, Charles Davis, Kevin Burkhardt with you, our entire crew on Fox. Glad to be back for another NFL season here on Fox. Our 26th is a first down, and Sanders gets the carry, gets absolutely swamped by Cole Holcomb, the rookie from North Carolina. Pete Macheska, our producer today, Artie Kempner, our director. And now this Eagles team, which has scored on 4 of the last 5 possessions, touchdowns on all of them.
They can't take their foot off the gas, which is not what Doug Peterson likes to do. But I think last year he did it at times because he felt like his personnel wasn't up to it. Had a lot of injuries and just didn't feel right. I think this year he'll continue to be as aggressive as he was in their Super Bowl winning season.
2nd and 15. Wentz going to loft it, coming for Aguilar, and he just can't get separation. He was looking for a flag, but no flag as Norman had good coverage. One thing on this drive a little different. Brandon Brooks, the 2-time Pro Bowler we mentioned earlier, coming back from that Achilles injury in the playoffs, such a quick recovery. Well, he is out on this drive. Halapoulivaati Vaitai, Big V, who is playing guard for the first time in his career, is in there. So we don't know if he's hurt. Could be the fact that the guy's back so quick and it's hot out today. Yeah, give him a break.
Might have him on a pitch count. And Vaitai played guard throughout the preseason. And remember, he was part of the heroes of the Super Bowl year, having to play left tackle when Jason Peters went down.
3rd and 15. Eagles need to get to the 32. Wentz pressure, rolls, looking, throwing, and he's got a completion on top of that. He's got a first down. Zach Ertz keeping the play alive, and he delivers for Philadelphia as Wentz using the legs.
But watch how he directs when he gets outside as well. You're exactly right. He extends the play, but watch him point. Go here, and then look at that. And they've done these drills for the receivers. Understand when the quarterback gets outside the pocket, what type of routes do we run to make ourselves available? Ertz goes right to that route, and we have another completion.
Cole Holcomb is injured for Washington. We got a timeout. Philly with the lead. (29-20). The Eagles, who were down 17-0 in the second quarter of this game, come all the way back, and they've had a terrific second half. Offensively, they've gotten going in a big way, and the defense has just completely shut down this Redskins offense that had 278 yards at the break. They've got 30 yards since. That's the storyline of the game. That and Deshaun Jackson having a big game in his return to Philly, 154 yards receiving. Eagles just picked up a 3rd and 15, so it's first down. Wentz firing, far sideline, and he's got another completion. It's Goddard, the tight end, who makes a catch. And you know, in all this, and hi everybody, welcome. That's right, home of the Super Bowl this year, Charles, from Miami. Carson Wentz, slow start. He's had a great day, and I think when we were talking to Zach Ertz at the Eagles facility, he was very honest about. There was an article written here over the offseason really criticizing Carson Wentz. A couple of unnamed guys saying not the great leader in the locker room, those type of things. And I think a lot of people would kind of, poo-poo that, as this one is tipped in, nearly intercepted, but incomplete. And Ertz said, Wentz took it to heart and said, how can I be better?
Yeah, he didn't necessarily agree with the article.
Right.
But he understood the essence of the article, meaning, I don't think I'm aloof. I don't think I'm not connecting. I'm trying to grind and get my knee right, so I'm in the training room all the time. I'm trying to grind film, so I'm in a film room. But he understood that maybe people needed more of him. And Doug Peterson told him, I think you need to show your team your vulnerability and be more accessible. And he took that to heart as well. So now you'll see him, work with the defensive guys, joke around with them, have them over for dinner, meet other guys out, take care of the O-line as he always has. But he's made himself much more available and open as their quarterback, leader, and teammate. And I think that's gone a long way with this ball club.
And I think when you're 26 years old, and you're the quarterback in Philadelphia with all these expectations, and you're right, all the injuries, it's hard to be a leader when you're in the training room. It's the whole maturation, because you're not just the leader of the team, you're the face of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
That's a big job.
And I can tell you from experience that when you get hurt and you're not available to play, everyone treats you nicely, but they also treat you like, just stay a little bit to the side. because no one likes to see an injured guy because they see themselves. And that drives them crazy because they don't want to be in that spot as well.
Play clock down to 1. Here's Sproles. Hurdling, getting a block, staying on his feet, and Darren Sproles keeps on moving. Penalty way back at where the toss was here, back inside the 35.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It's on Vaitai, who just came in. We told you for Brooks, only the 3rd penalty of the day for the Eagles. And just one last thing to cap off the conversation on Wentz. Charles' day today, fantastic. 24 of 34, 277, 3 touchdowns.
And I'm going to cap off the injury thing. I was working football camp, Manning Passing Academy, and I hurt my knee at the camp, and I'm on a table getting treatment. And Eli Manning comes in just to get normal, regular treatment in the offseason. Doesn't speak to me. And after 10 minutes, I said, "Hey, Eli, I'm right over here." He goes, "I don't even know you're there, Charles." Because players don't like to see other injured players because they feel like it could be them. And that's just how it works. And I wasn't even a player. But he's like, "Nope, don't even know you're there."
You're done.
So that tells you what it's like in a locker room. They love their guy, but you have to move forward. And he has to work his way back. And so
And the other thing is Wentz has really spread it out today. I mean, told you about the big day by Deshaun Jackson, but everyone's getting involved. 5 catches for Ertz, 4 for Jeffrey. And then 5 other Eagles after that have catches.
Well, Pam kind of jogged Doug Peterson on that halftime, didn't she? Said, "Hey, Ertz 1 for 5.
Yep.
Second half, he's caught more balls, right?
Got the memo.
Pam let him know.
Here's Jordan Howard again. Good hole. Jordan Howard has a first down. You know, he hasn't had many carries today, but on his 4th carry, they've all been pretty good.
Excellent. And this isn't exactly Le'Veon Bell patience, but still good, right? Look at what he's getting there. See the read, and he sees where their helmets are, so that means the cut's there. And then he sees the second read, which is the cut to the outside. See, running backs will oftentimes read the helmets of their offensive linemen. Where's their head? You go opposite. And once you, so if their head's inside, that means they're controlling things there. You cut to the outside. Jordan Howard does for a big run.
Howard again, same side, and grinding through tackles. Jordan Howard inside the 40. Let's get another game break with Kurt Menefee.
Well, once down 23-10 in the 3rd quarter of the Rams. Carolina doing the comeback thing. They get a rare block on the Rams, Johnny Hecker, and then Christian McCaffrey gets his 2nd touchdown of the day. He's got 141 total yards, and they just picked off Jared Goff. They're within 3 and marching.
Ooh, very interesting. I'll tell you what.
You talked about that game to me this morning that you had a sense about Carolina playing well today.
They're tough. Look, they're well coached. They're tough at home, and Super Bowl teams that lose, it's a tough road the next year normally.
Long trip from LA to Charlotte too.
There we go. Wentz in and out of the hands. It's of Deshaun Jackson. It's the first thing he's done wrong since that penalty earlier in the game. And it's incomplete. Meanwhile, Charles, the Eagles using a lot of time here with this 9-point lead. This drive already 5:23 on the clock.
And in the first half, it was Washington controlling the clock and eating up chunks of time and making the pace theirs. That's flipped around now with Doug Peterson calling the offensive plays. There's Case Keenum, who was playing awfully well in the first half. He's had a lot of heat on him in the second half, and they've been unable to run the football. Jeffrey's at the top again with Norman locked up.
That's Miles Sanders now, who goes outside of Jeffrey. 4-man rush. Wentz pumps again, runs, fires, and it's caught by Jeffrey. What a bullet to Alshon Jeffrey down around the 20, and another Eagles first down.
So watch Jeffrey. Works inside. Wentz actually wants him here on the inside route. Doesn't get it. Norman with a small hold, but Jeffrey sees his quarterback get outside the pocket, breaks away from Norman, and makes himself available towards the sideline. And what a dart Carson Wentz put on number 17. Something about those big, tall guys wearing 17 here in Philadelphia, isn't it?
Yeah, we spent some time with one the other day.
Old Harold Carmichael, 6'8", going up and catching the football.
One of the all-time greats. Inside on the carry, and a good run it is. Here is the rookie Sanders, and he's in, but a penalty. Touchdown Philadelphia, but let's wait and see on the flag. There's also an injured Redskin on the play. That is Norman, who now gets helped up.
Yeah, I don't know if he's injured as much. He wanted to draw attention to where he thinks the hold was.
Holding. Offense, number 19. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
That's on the rookie, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside out of Stanford. Hasn't played much today.
Norman realized he can't get there, and a nice job by Norman diving after the, see, watch. See him make that dive? So that opens it up so you see the arms get extended for Arcega-Whiteside. So the officials say it. Good veteran play by Josh Norman to draw attention to that penalty.
I thought Vernon Davis was the only actor on the Redskins.
Well,
I mean, Vernon's been in real stuff.
Real stuff, and he's got a couple movies coming out. And what's it, Hell on the Border is going to be his next one. Got a big monologue in it. They say nailed it on one take.
That was a good take by Norman, I should say. Throwing it outside, it's got it. The tight end, and he strolls inside the 20. They're going to work it out at the 13-yard line. Well, we're talking about number 17. It is the 100th anniversary of the NFL, right? So there he is, the great Harold Carmichael, who, when you think about it, Charles, in the era which wasn't the passing league, he was essentially one of the first hybrids, right?
He really was, because at his height, many thought he was a tight end, but he was a true wide receiver on the perimeter. And, you know, as Howard Cosell always called him, the angular one, Harold Carmichael. And a lot of people think that maybe he started the back shoulder fade throw. So he's got a lot of history wrapped up in him.
Here's Sproles, and he's down near another first down. Going to be about a yard short as he stays in bounds and lets the clock continue to roll. Well, it's funny, when we were talking to Harold at practice the other day, he for a longest time was involved in practice as the holder.
He would go in and snap the ball, place the ball on the hash marks for different plays, snap the ball to the quarterback when, you know, he didn't need a center. The whole deal for years and years after he retired. And he also would warm the quarterbacks up every day. He said, I warmed every quarterback up here. I mean, it wasn't Norm Van Brocklin he warmed up,
no.
But not many after that escaped Harold Carmichael.
3rd and 1, Corey Clement in the game. They're going to sneak it with Wentz. It's worked now 3 times today. First down.
And that's one of the better surges they got inside. This is a very tired Washington defense. And don't make the mistake, folks, of watching this game and thinking this Washington defense isn't good. They're missing that guy. He got hurt early in the game, Jonathan Allen, one of their better defensive linemen. They played a terrific first half. And now they're starting to get worn down because the offense can't possess the ball for very long for Washington. They don't get much of a break.
And so it is 1st and goal for the Eagles.
Look at that. Look at that rushing yards.
15-play drive to this point, and the rush game, which was invisible in the first half, has been dominant in the second half. They'll give it to Howard, Jordan Howard. He works his way down to the 6. And again, what this drive has done, it's eaten up nearly 9 minutes now. With a 9-point lead as a 2-score game, they have just killed this clock. And we get a timeout on the field. We'll take one, too. 3:34 to play. Eagles up by 9. Back to Philadelphia, the 100th year of the National Football League. And what a week one. Washington stormed out to a 17-0 lead, stunning the crowd here in Philly, but the Eagles have had an unbelievable second half. They've outgained Washington 289-30 in the second half. As they play here with a 2nd and goal, Jordan Howard in the game at running back. He'll give it to Howard. Makes a cut inside the 5. Penalty flags flying. That one probably coming back.
Holding. Offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
So Vaitai, we told you, replaced Brooks a couple drives ago, and we think it's just given Brooks, who's coming back so quickly from that Achilles injury, a little bit of a rest on this hot day. And Vaitai's got a couple penalties.
Never been a guard, always been out on the perimeter, and look at the time of possession. I mean, that's taking over in the second half.
That is taking over. That's exactly right. 8:37 on this drive alone to kill the clock when you're up by 2 scores.
Case Keenum, hard to make a comeback when you don't have the football. And there's, as you point out, Kevin, to the right, Brandon Brooks, the Pro Bowl guard. Vaitai to the left. the hero of the Super Bowl year, playing left tackle, now playing right guard for Brooks.
Andre Dillard, first-round pick in the game on the left side, with an extra lineman. Wentz going to throw. He's got a man wide open. It's Howard. Howard is wrestled down to the ground by Holcomb. And we got a timeout on the field, and we'll be back after this message from Geico.
Oh, great presentation, Tim. Could you email me the part about Geico, making it easy to switch and save hundreds?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You don't know my name, do you?
Of course I know your name. I just get you mixed up with the other guy. What's his name? What's your name?
Switch to Geico. You could save 15% or more on car insurance.
Could you just tell me? I want this to be over.
3:18 to go. 29-20. Eagles in front of the Redskins.
And how about, we talked about not playing in the preseason, not much. What about this offensive line? They've gone the distance, save Brandon Brooks. And they struggled in the first half and have dominated in the second half. They really started to get it together, and now they look like they played a little bit in the preseason.
Yeah. Third and goal. Wentz, near side Sproles. He's going to be inside the 5. We'll bring up a 4th down and goal. And Jake Elliott's dying to get on the field, but Doug Peterson said, maybe not, just stay there. He may just go for it here. It's already a 2-score game.
You got to get Jake some work. Might need him next week.
Well, it makes it a 2-touchdown. You know, you got to score 2 touchdowns. It's a big difference, right? Big 10.
Big difference, but the other part is, it is a little bit of a joke, but it does not hurt if you give your field goal kicker a little taste right here. You know, you might need him later on. He's part of the game today. If he puts it through the posts, it works all the way around.
Kick is up, and it is good. So a 12-point lead with 3:10 to go in this one. You know, looking around the scores today, Charles, the Ravens are beating the Dolphins 59-10. Lamar Jackson has 5 touchdowns on 17 of 20 throwing. The Titans are destroying the Browns. Everyone was so excited about the Cleveland Browns, but Tennessee didn't get that memo, did they? 36-13 that game in the 4th. And then we have America's Game of the Week coming up next with Joe Troy and Aaron. Looking forward to that. Here's what we got. Saquon and Zeke. I don't know how many carries Zeke is going to get today because he just signed.
Many as he can handle.
But he'll probably get a lot, knowing him.
You think he'll wear the T-shirt Jerry gave him underneath?
That was pretty funny.
That was great.
You have to say that was pretty good.
That was great. I mean, you know, Zeke who? That's who.
Exactly.
Terrific. Great way to break the ice. And you know what really broke the ice, though?
$90 million?
Contract.
$90 million tends to break some ice.
$90 million? We're good.
Not that I would know, but I have a feeling.
$90 million? No problem.
I'd like to welcome those of you who just joined us. We're here in Philadelphia along with Pam Oliver, Charles Davis. I'm Kevin Burkhardt, our entire NFL on Fox crew. Here is the deal in this one. The Redskins were up 17-0 in the first half, but the Eagles have dominated the second half. Deshaun Jackson has gone off in his return to Philly. A 51-yard score, a 53-yard score. Carson Wentz has been excellent. Jeffrey getting involved with a touchdown as well. Alshon's got 5 catches himself. It's been a well-balanced attack in the second half. Running game was quiet in the first half, Charles. Really, I think that was what established it on that first drive of the third quarter. 53 yards rushing from the Eagles. Changed the whole field.
I think those 5 guys up front took the challenge at halftime, and that changed the momentum of the game.
So here is Washington. Limited time, 3:03 to go, 1 timeout. And they need essentially 2 touchdowns. They've had 30 yards total in this half. Still time to go, but they need 1 quick.
Philadelphia's just going to back off big time behind their front 4. Have anything in front of those guys, but nothing behind.
Keenan over the middle, and McLaurin, who's got the catch. Been really impressed by him. Is now Malik Jackson is down on 1 knee. There's a penalty flag as well.
10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So forget the catch by McLaurin. Jackson coming out. I think we've seen a decent amount of cramping today. Number one, it's been a warm day, but guys haven't played in the preseason at all.
It's a different conditioning. You can do all the conditioning you want, but playing games, playing plays, plus the emotion of the first game. Think about that. Remember when you're an athlete, Kevin, and like the first minutes of whatever you did, you were just racing, weren't you? And then you had to get your breath and get your equilibrium back. And I think that's happened a lot with the first game with all these players.
It's kind of like today, go out for a jog and maybe run a mile, and then I feel good, like I did when I ran around the city yesterday. And then after that, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, we're good.
I don't want to go 2, 3, 4.
We're good. These guys, unfortunately for them, well, fortunately for us, they had to go 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, they did.
We could shut it down.
How do you view Washington from an offensive standpoint today? First half, they looked like gangbusters, did anything they wanted, 278 total yards, and they've gotten completely shut down in the second half.
2:36. Clock will start on the snap.
I thought coming in, my description for Washington coming into this one was going to be a baseball term. Good field, no hit. And when you say that in football terms, we meaning baseball, excellent defense, good field. No hit, meaning the offense, hard to generate it. And that's what I thought about them coming in. They generated plenty in the first half, but the second half, much more of a struggle, which I think is going to be the key for them. Can they run the football better and give Keenum better opportunities to throw it downfield?
Here's a chance for Trey Quinn. That's just his second catch today.
With all the young receivers and a little bit of unsettledness on the offensive line, it was going to be a prove-it day for Washington, and for a while they were doing exactly that. But I think every team they play is going to sit on the run, force them to throw the football, and see how it comes out. They're not going to want to allow them to just gash them in the run game, because that's how this team is built.
Redskins on a 3rd and 6 on that run. They don't have a running first down all day. Eagles come with a blitz. Keenum sees it, picked up, throws, and McLaurin with a diving effort but can't haul it in, as Rasul Douglas was there on the coverage. And on 4th down, Washington obviously has to go for it here with 2:26 to go. Down by 12. Charles, I think, I'm not saying that if Adrian Peterson was dressed today that the result would be different or that they would be running the ball, because they haven't at all today. But I'll tell you one thing, biggest story in Washington, D.C. this week is if he's playing next week.
It's going to be a big one, and we will find out, because when in our conversation with Jay Gruden, he left that door open. He just said, hey, he may play against Dallas. Who knows? We'll see. But I think that if they've really committed to Geis, they may have to make a bigger decision about what they're going to do with Adrian Peterson on the roster.
That was a great catch by McLaurin, and we'll see if he got it. I thought he did, and yes, he did. That was a heck of an adjustment. Ball was behind him. He's been impressive today.
For a speed guy, he's made a couple of catches today that you talk about for underneath receivers, right? Great job going back against his body. Good control to catch that one and absorb the hit.
And we get a penalty as Davis has a catch for a first down, but we got a penalty back at the line of scrimmage. And we'll see what this one is. Yeah, but McLaurin finishing up, Charles. 5 catches, 125 yards. He had that 70-yard touchdown. He probably would have had another 70-yard touchdown, but Keenum overthrew him. He was wide open.
Holding. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And so that will move things back for Washington. The Eagles opening up at home and dominating in this second half. Looking for a victory. 2-minute warning from Philly. Well, people affected by Hurricane Dorian need help right now. To support those impacted by the hurricane, text Dorian to 90999. Give $10 to American Red Cross Hurricane Dorian Relief. Just awful what that did to the Bahamas, especially just sitting over that island for 2 days. It's just, pictures are gut-wrenching. So easy $10 donation, 90999. Just text Dorian to that. You give $10, and that goes a long way. State Farm postgame show is next. Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony got you covered for that. Taking us up to America's Game of the Week. Giants, Cowboys. After us here, Eagles looking to wrap up a win. 1:56 to go. Here's Keenum. Going to get one over the middle to Trey Quinn. And the Redskins have 1 timeout. Down by 12. They need 2 touchdowns. So right now they're in obviously onside kick territory if they can punch one in. They got to punch one in first.
And they're not helping themselves. They keep getting those penalties. Right, we've got 2 holds on this drive.
Keenum, pressure, hit as he throws, and down he goes. It's incomplete, though. He gets it off. As Son Ridgeway came over to trade from the Colts, got pressure.
Well, he had an opening to throw the football and just couldn't. Remember, he was trying to pull it and didn't feel like he had it, and then whammo.
I'd like to welcome those of you who watched the Vikings beat the Falcons in Minneapolis today. Here in Philadelphia, Pam Oliver, Charles Davis, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Eagles were down 17-0, and they have just dominated since, especially in the second half. Deshaun Jackson in his return to Philly, a monster game, 250-plus touchdowns as Keenum is hit, and it's incomplete, and it's 4th and 12 for Washington. Jackson today, 8 catches, 154 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Got the loudest ovation in the introductions and delivered. And Wentz, by the way, in the year we set it up, it's his team. They gave him the big contract extension. Nick Foles now in Jacksonville. After a slow start, he's been terrific.
Terrific to the tune of 28 of 39, 313, 3 touchdowns. That's pretty terrific.
That's pretty terrific.
And he made plays, with his legs, getting outside, not necessarily being a runner, but keeping plays alive and then delivering passes.
4th down. Here's Thompson looking for a first down. Skirts to the outside. He's got it. Still in bounds, and that'll stop the clock with 1:17 to go. And so the Redskins not dead yet. Giants, Cowboys, you'll see that in most of the country. Others will see Lions, Cards, and 49ers, Buccaneers. Bruce Arians' debut in Tampa Bay. Think they'll throw it deep at all?
No risk it, no biscuit. But the interesting part, he's got a quarterback now that he's actually had to coach differently in terms of Jameis Winston. He's had to back that down because Jameis has been that no risk it, no biscuit guy and turned it over too many times.
Yeah, exactly right.
So it's been a little different coaching for him.
Here's Keenum, pressure, throws over the middle, and he's got a completion. It's Thompson again. Down to the 30. With 1:10 to go, and so for Washington, it's they got a week to sort things out. Some good here today, and then the second half was really mostly bad, and it doesn't get any easier because they host the Cowboys next week.
But can they get Trent Williams in? There's talk that he may possibly come in for next week, so that could help them at left tackle if he's able to get there.
Washington's schedule is just insane. The first bunch of games, obviously here in Philly, tough opener, right? As Keenum will stop the clock with 42 seconds left. Charles, after that, they're home for Dallas next week. We'll be there for that one. And then they've got the Bears at the Giants and then the Patriots.
Wow.
If they survive that, it gets a lot better in the middle portion of the year. There's the schedule. So, I mean, it's really a big test early on. So it's how can they come out of these first few games and just be okay. But then they can make some hay in the middle of that schedule.
It's always interesting to watch because every year you have 12 playoff teams in each, right? You have 12 playoff teams both total. 6 each side, AFC, NFC. Last year, what were there? 8 different teams from the year before.
Exactly.
So what looks good to your schedule early, by the time you get to them, that may be different. All of a sudden you go, God's schedule really toughened up on us. I didn't know they were going to be good. So you just don't know how it's going to play out.
True. But first and goal, Charles.
Yeah, they're battling all the way through.
25 seconds left.
Did Jay Gruden tell Pam that at halftime? They've got battlers.
Keenum pressure, throws on the run, and it's incomplete. As today's game being produced by Pete Mancheska, directed by Artie Kempner, our technical producer, Clyde Taylor. Our AD is Tyler Day, our technical director, Derek Joyo Prietno, Bobby Reed, Nick Franklin, Michael Abdella. With our replays today, graphics by the one and only Scott Swim and Josh Weingrad, Cody Novak, Xavier Garcia, great graphics, bad driver. Our video engineer is Steve Dressman and our Doug Sellers Award winner. Well, Steve doing so much for us. Jeff Nelson, Mitch Smith, and Bill Harmon all up in the booth, keeping us afloat. Thanks for watching today. Redskins 17 seconds left. Here's Keenum.
I think they jumped. The Eagles got that free play.
Penalty. Keenum sees it, throws. Nobody's open, but I think you're right, Charles.
Yep.
So we'll get to do it one more time.
Offside. Defense, number 96. In the neutral zone at the snap. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat second down.
Barnett's second offsides today. Remember earlier in the first half? He brought Hassan Ridgeway with him, didn't he? But I think that Barnett showed why they decided not to get in the Jadeveon Clowney market. Remember when he was available, man, he said, hey, go get Clowney. And Howie Roseman said, at some point, you got to trust your roster a little bit. And he meant Barnett and an improvement from him, Graham being back.
Redskins, last hope. Keenum pressured, throws at end zone. Quinn's got a touchdown with 6 seconds to play. It's an important play for some. 32-26 with 6 seconds left.
Look, Keenum hanging in there, and look at the way he can deliver. See how a lot of these quarterbacks with the different arm angles, how many of them were baseball players at one time? You know, Wentz was a shortstop, so you'll see that a lot with the different arm angles and the throws you have to make. And you cover a lot of baseball, Kevin, and you see those shortstops coming out deep in the hole and making a play. That ball can come from any angle, but boy, it gets there, doesn't it?
It does. Here's Hopkins with the extra point. So Washington's going to try and pull out a little Houdini act. Can they get an extra point and throw a Hail Mary in 6 seconds? I'd like to welcome those of you who saw the Rams hold on and beat the Panthers 30-27 here in Philadelphia, where the Eagles have erased a 17-0 first half deficit and had a terrific second half. They have dominated the second half in every which way. Started on the third quarter, their opening drive, got the ground game going. Deshaun Jackson has 2 50-plus touchdowns today, 154 yards receiving, and the Eagles defense, which really got pushed around in that first half, well, they've been great in the second half. There's Jackson and his return. 2 touchdowns for him. Wentz, 313 yards and 3 TDs. Not bad.
Slow start for he and the offense. But once they got rolling in the second half, that was I think that's the offense that Doug Peterson envisioned.
And the onside kick recovered by the Eagles. Nathan Gary, and that will do it. There's a penalty. Hold on, we think it'll do it.
Offside by the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty is added to the end of the play. Philadelphia's ball, first down.
Eagles will take a knee, and this one will be over. 32-27. As the Eagles will get a week 1 win. It wasn't easy, especially early, but they turned it on. And they've got the Falcons next week. Redskins home for the Cowboys next week. We will be there for that. Cowboys and Giants up next on Fox, America's game of the week.
Cowboys Giants opener, isn't that pretty much standard procedure
every year?
League?
That'll do it here from Philadelphia. The Eagles get a win over the Washington Redskins in week 1. The State Farm Game Break Show with Kurt Menefee and the fellas is right now. For Pam and Charles, I'm Kevin. See you next week. Kurt, take it away.